U Sports on CBC, presented by l'U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Steel Mazda.
From Scotiabank Centre in Halifax, it's the 2026 U Sports University Cup on CBC Gem, presented to you by Steel Mazda. Another semifinal berth on the line as it's a battle of the sled dogs. The St. Mary's Huskies, the hosts, they take on the Saskatchewan Huskies. Peter Ruckhazer alongside Kevin Figsby. And Kevin, two players that you want to highlight in this game. Who would they be?
Well, for the St. Mary's Huskies today, we want to have a look at number 5, Reed Vlad. Reed has 48 points on the season, including 27 goals. He's a former OHL player with the Kitchener Rangers, and yesterday he was named the second-team All-Canadian player. And now for the Saskatchewan Huskies, who we want to keep our eye on, number 14, Connor Roulette. Connor, a big point getter as well, with 35 points on the season, 28 games in only his first year at the university level. Now, that's a little bit deceiving. Connor was named the Claire Drake Award winner as Rookie of the Year in university sport just last night, but he's also a player that, after playing major junior in both Saskatchewan, Seattle, and Spokane, went to the East Coast Hockey League, where he had 34 points and then decided to come back and pursue his education under the new rules in U-Sport.
Two great offensive players. We got a great one on our hands here. We're coming back, St. Mary's and Saskatchewan, right here on CBC Gem.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
There are those among us who never run away from problems. Instead, they run to them. When we never settle for the world that's been built, that's when we drive it forward towards something better. Better outcomes for clients. And better futures for our communities. At Cushman & Wakefield, we believe better never settles.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe, no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici-tout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
Welcome back, everybody, to Halifax. It's quarterfinal number 2 of the 2026 U Sports Cup. And there you see the matchup, Saskatchewan and St. Mary's. Let's give you the starting goaltenders for this game here. Nolan Meyer, unbelievable in the postseason. There you see his regular season marks. 6-0, 1.13 goals against average, a .962 save percentage. And it's the rookie, Marcus Vandenberg, the former Leamington Flyer, 0-1, 3.10 goals against average, and an .893 save percentage. The officials for tonight's game, Mark Pierce, Chad Ingalls, the linesman, Brennan Walker, and Adam Burnett. So there you have it. We're ready to get going here. And if we have half the entertainment that we had, Kevin, in that first game between Windsor and the Mount Royal Cougars, we're in for a treat here.
Well, what a dynamite game we had to start the University Cup between those two teams. The shots were a little bit lopsided, but the game was up and down both ways, finished in a 4-3 win for the Windsor Lancers, and that was number 4 beating number 5. And here we have the battle of number 1, number 8. And let's not forget, last year's University Cup was won by the 8th seed, Ottawa GGs.
So here we are, we're underway. Back on that puck for St. Mary's, Dillingham, the former Sarnia Sting captain. The St. Mary's team, they have not played a game since February the 20th. And we'll get into that a little bit later on with Rob Pizzo. Puck down low, Dillingham plays it behind the net for Holmes. Comes up for Arnsby. Liam Arnsby, an abrasive defensive forward for the St. Mary's team. You got to keep your head up when he's on the ice. Both teams making their first change of the evening. Huskies want to set up, St. Mary's Huskies that is, want to set up in their own end. Played back deep. Jordan tried to make a pass, and that goes the distance for icing.
And we've got a pretty tight checking game so far. Both teams standing back in the neutral zone with our first icing less than a minute into the game. So I want to have a look here at Tyler Nagler, former Dalhousie Tiger, coaching the St. Mary's Huskies.
Been part of this program for a long time, was an assistant under Trevor Steinberg, who was part of the opening ceremony for this game. Ben Allison to take the draw. He led the nation in points with 50. Here's Hayes. He'll go diagonally. He was looking for Berthelot. And another icing right off the hop here.
And behind the bench for the Saskatchewan Huskies, we have Brandon Cote, former Western Hockey League player who went on to play pro hockey, and now with the Saskatchewan Huskies leading a program that's here, attending its 23rd University Cup.
And what a postseason they've had, Kevin. I mean, 6-0.
Canada West champions this year.
Hopkins, he takes a shot, goes off the side of the net. Berthelot trying to get onto it. Derek Gentile, another high IQ offensive player for the St. Mary's team. He led the nation last year in points for St. Mary's, as he had 48. Penalty coming up, and let's see, it's going to go against St. Mary's. And it's a tripping call against Van Loon.
Well, let's have a look at this first penalty here in the game. Puck goes back, and just off the forecheck, as we go to move in there, we get a knee on knee, or just a little bit lower than the knee on the leg, to take out the Saskatchewan player and force that first penalty. So now we're going to see what St. Mary's going to be able to do on the penalty kill against a strong Saskatchewan power play.
Saskatchewan 5 for 22 in the postseason for 22.7%. They win the draw, comes back to Cossier. Good puck handling defenseman. Petruik down low. Chance Petruik. Real good offensive player in his own right. There's a shot. Pinballs around in front of the St. Mary's net. Off the glass, but kept in. Cossier into the corner. He gets the return pass. Petruik. Cossier again. Petruik looking for a lane. There's a shot. That's stopped by Vandenberg. And then hammered down the ice by St. Mary's, and they'll change up the PK. Huskies now will work it up the ice, as in the Saskatchewan Huskies. I don't know how many times I'm going to just say Huskies. We got two groups of Huskies out there. Pass picked off and sent down the ice by McDonald. Meyer will play it around. 1:05 remaining in the power play. Good job so far for St. Mary's, Kevin, on the PK.
They're doing a great job so far, and that was the one thing that was worrying them after being off the ice for so long, that their special teams may have a bit of a problem with their connecting.
Here's Roulette coming off the half wall. Takes a shot. Hopkins tried to hammer it around the boards, can't get it out. Down in the corner it goes, back up top. Petruik gets it over there for Reinhardt. That pass to the goal line, that got misplayed, and it's held on to by Vandenberg off to the side of the net.
Well, let's take a look at the Saskatchewan Huskies power play here. They're set up perfectly the way they want to, with the one man at the top. They're moving the puck into the middle of the ice every chance they can, trying to move it down to both sides and take shots from both angles, and hopefully rebound, come in for a secondary scoring chance. Great job by the Huskies so far.
Penalty killing for St. Mary's in the postseason, 8 for 11 in the two games that they played against Forby McPherson and the UPEI Panthers. Chisholm over for DeFonseca, takes the shot. Meyer got that trapper up, made the save. And I wasn't mistaken when I said Meyer had a 9.962 save percentage, which is simply astounding. Stibbings from the corner. 2 seconds, one. That's going to do it for the power play. Back to even strength hockey. Here's Josh Pillar. Got some room to roam down this near side wing. Then he takes a hit, as that's Ben Boyd, number 17, the former Columbus Blue Jacket draft pick. He's an abrasive player in his own right. Sorensen, he comes back in over the line. Renier try to get it deep. Saskatchewan, they keep it in. Great job on the puck there, as that's Uberti. Only played 3 games this season, as he missed a lot of time due to injury. Backpedaling in their own end, that's Cato. Saunderson goes D to D. Barris down the line, deflected in. Saskatchewan will make a change here. Approaching the 5-minute mark of this period. Saskatchewan out shooting St. Mary's 3-0. Here's Gunnar Kinneberg, the captain of this team. Roulette banks it off the boards to himself. Roulette tried to dance another man, no good, as Ethan Ritchie played that one perfectly. Pass picked off in the neutral zone. Here's Vlad, or excuse me, this is Gentile trying to get inside position. A shot right off the post, as that was Ben Allison. Allison then collides with his man, Cossier. Allison plays it east-west. Kinneberg's right there, breaks up the play, and now coming off the flank, this is Roulette. Great job defensively, as that was Hopkins that sealed him off. Jordan, down low, in front. That pass behind Roulette. Saskatchewan's got something cooking now after that goal post that rang all over the arena from Ben Allison. Puck reversed. Reinhardt gave it away. Gentile, wrong person to give it away to. And now this is Jordan. He'll play it to an open wing. Nobody home. Puck sent in by McDonald. Meyer traps it behind the net. Reinhardt. He's got some room here. Stibbings has to get it out of the way of the linesman, then takes a hit for his trouble from Trenholm. And right now, both teams kind of settling in here, Kevin.
Well, they're both settling in, but I'm very impressed so far with St. Mary's, the way they're playing after being off for so long. They're playing relentless, and they're playing persistent hockey right now, which is what they need to do to play the number 1 seed and have an opportunity.
Here's Barros. Pushes it ahead, Stibbings. Keeler tried to make a play, gave it away. Uberti. He'll spin it down in the corner. He'll get after Barros. Gives him a hit. Barros, though, bounces off that check. Puck dangerously in the slot. Here's Raphael Peltier. He got his stick lifted. And now Connor Olsen. He'll tap it off the end boards. The lad comes back to help out defensively. Saskatchewan looking for some zone time here. Puck comes around. This is Kinneberg. Down in that far side corner now. Centered, goes across the blue. Kinneberg looking for a lane, can't find one. Plays it over for Cochier. Funnels it low. This is Peltier. Peltier spins, takes a shot. Kinneberg, he goes cross ice. And that was in the skates of Berthelot. He couldn't pull the trigger. Puck kept in as Saskatchewan tilting the ice here. Berthelot lets his shot go. That got blocked out in front now for St. Mary's, as that was Olsen got in the way of that shot. And we'll get a whistle. Take a look at the shot that goes off the post here, Kevin.
So St. Mary's comes down. They got the right wide side taken care of. Then there was a great drop pass into the middle to Allison. Allison snaps one high, just hits the goalpost right at the seam with the crossbar. And from our angle, it looked like that puck may have gone in, but off the replay, you can see it just tings the bar and comes back out. Hasn't been much in the way of shots so far, 3-1 through the first 8 minutes, but that one shot almost was the difference maker in the game so far.
Ethan Ritchie, he gives the puck away. Here's Ritchie now. He'll play it along the boards. Andrews couldn't handle it. There's a shot from the point that goes wide. Chisholm, he'll play it in the far side corner. Now Dylan Andrews takes a big hit, as that was Rhett Reinhardt. He's a big man, number 6. And he laid the body on his St. Mary's counterpart. Here's Hopkins now. In over the line. Hopkins, fans on the shot, put it wide. Andrews tried to make a play. He gets it across. St. Mary's, they keep the puck in the zone. Down low, there's a shot. Meyer makes a safe spin around attempt right there from Trenholm. And he just missed. Hopkins plays it across. Ritchie with a shot. That's stopped by Meyer. Time now for St. Mary's to get something going offensively. That was a good burst there for the Huskies.
That was phenomenal burst by the Huskies. They finally got some sustained offense inside the zone. So far it's been one and done where the puck's gone in the zone, player a shot, and then the defensive team's able to clear it.
Puck sent down the ice here. Gentile can't get to it. Barros is there. Gentile getting physical with him. Puck loose in the corner. St. Mary's try to play it up top, gets deflected. Dillingham, D to D. And now Dillingham back on it again. He'll send that puck in. Big hit in the neutral zone. That was Keeler, and he got his bell rung. Allison gives the puck away. Stibbings. Carter Stibbings down that right side. He'll dump it down into the corner, wants to get after it. Allison throws a check. Another check in the corner on the near side by Dillingham as he transports that puck to center and dumps it in. Approaching the halfway point of this first period. Big hit! I told you, Arnsby, abrasive. And you can spell abrasive in capital letters. Here's a shot by Ritchie. Pillar comes right back at Arnsby. Puck dug out of the corner. The captain, Kinneberg, can't get it out. Played over. Here's a shot. And Meyer comes to the top of the blue paint and makes the save off of Ritchie. And now we got a little bit of a Donnybrook going on here, as that's Ben Boyd. Ben Boyd does not know how to play passive.
No, and neither one of these teams right now is going to give an inch. The game's getting physical, and you can see St. Mary's has had some time off. They're rested, they're healthy, and you know that Saskatchewan's been in a battle. Even though they're 6-0, to win a championship, it takes a lot of physical play and a lot of endurance. So here we have Meyer moves the puck out to the side, and then the big hit here in the corner creates a turnover for the St. Mary's team, and then the shot back to the pass back to the far side, and the shot creates that scrum in front of the net. And right now, St. Mary's is trying to impose itself and say, hey, we're coming at you. We may be number 8, but we know the last 2 times these 2 teams have met at a national championship, St. Mary's has come away the winner.
Ozone face-off now to the right of Meyer. Puck off to the side of net. Pelche, he'll push it forward. You know, over the line, that was Bertholet. Bertholet seems to be okay. He went off as he got shooken up a little bit. Here's Reed Valad. Valad trying to turn the corner. Tried to go short side. Meyer made the save. Saskatchewan trying to slow it down just a bit here. Pelche, he got stood up in over the line. Pelche tries to hold the line and can't. DeFonseca, he'll dump the puck in. And he didn't get over his side of center. And there'll be an ozone face-off for Saskatchewan.
You know, that last sustained drive by St. Mary's, we saw Ben Allison touch the puck, Reed Valad touch the puck, and Charlie DeFonseca touch the puck. There's 50 points, 48 points, and 33 points. If St. Mary's is going to have success in this tournament, it's the top guns that are going to have to go, and they're going to have to move the offense forward. And right now, they're actually out-shooting the Saskatchewan Huskies 5-3 after being down 3-0 on the shot clock.
St. Mary's team, they got off to a 6-0 start in AUS play. Then they ran through a ton of injuries, and those 3 players that you just mentioned right there, Kevin, they had to play a lot of hockey for at least a couple of months until they got to the Christmas break. Cato off the boards, out of the zone. Saunderson has to backpedal for Saskatchewan. Here's Saunderson. He'll dump that puck right on the mark. Vandenberg was right there. Cato played the last 2 seasons in the coast with Cincinnati. Big addition to this St. Mary's team this season. Van Loon wins a puck battle. There's a shot. Stopped by Meyer. Stibbings tries to go east-west. And now jumping on it is Keeler. Keeler lets a shot go. Whistled that one high and wide on the blocker's side of Vandenberg. Derek Gentile moves in. He's by himself here. That's a shot go that's stopped by the captain, Kinneberg. Dillingham. He'll play it over, and he'll dump it in. Saskatchewan with some good team defense right there, Kevin.
Well, they're playing a really good defensive game right now against the St. Mary's team that's just pressing. You've got those 3 guys I mentioned earlier. Now you've got Derek Gentile leading the offense. That's the second shot he's taken from the slot.
Here's Andrews. He takes a shot from an oblique angle. Olsen sends it down low in the Gretzky offices. Chisholm try to get it out in front to somebody. And now Tkachuk. And Tkachuk to the captain, Kinneberg. Kinneberg, a former Fort McMurray oil baron, made the Saskatchewan team 5 years ago as a walk-on. And there's Arnsby again. That's his second big hit in this contest. Somebody did something to his cornflakes this morning, I think. Centered out front. Arnsby with a great opportunity. Played into the slot. Cato makes the move. Landon Cato centers it. Chance right there for St. Mary's as they wail away at it. There's a shot that got blocked, and now out to center ice, Pilar all by himself. Puck out of the zone. The St. Mary's team They've got some confidence here. McDonald. DeFonseca takes the shot, missed it. Huskies, as in St. Mary's, keep applying pressure. Trenholm, he was looking for that pass in the sun. He got knocked down from behind by Pillar. DeFonseca can't handle the puck. And now it's DeFonseca back on it again. Petruic. Chance Petruic, former MVP of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, terrorized goaltenders in that league with Yorkton for 3 seasons. He's by himself, and he'll loop that puck in. Ethan Ritchie takes a hit. And now Vlad, he goes rink wide. DeFonseca will dump it in. He'll head off. 6:25 remaining in the first. No score. Pelche, his shot is blocked. Hopkins got in the way of that one. To the point now. Kinneberg, his shot again blocked by Hopkins in front of the St. Mary's net. Bertholet over for Kinneberg. As now St. Mary's, they have to defend. And now you got some pushing and shoving.
Well, I don't think either team in either end of the ice is not going to let anybody get in tight and push their goalie right now to try and get an advantage that way. And you can tell there's a lot of animosity going on out there. Nobody bothered to tell St. Mary's they were the eighth seed tonight. I'll tell you, this is a rough one.
Yeah, a lot of physical action in this one. Liam Arnsby, big hit right there. Back to Halifax with more U-Cup action.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
First period here in Halifax, scoreless in the Battle of the Huskies. And as you know, St. Mary's haven't played in a while. In fact, it's been 3 weeks since their last game. Yeah, it gave them a chance to heal up, but the tough part is not having any game action. But they were able to wrestle up an exhibition game against some former pros, among them James Shepard, who played just shy of 400 games in the NHL. He had Mike Kirkpatrick, he had Zach Sill, and Nathan Beaulieu, first-round pick of the Habs and assistant coach for the team, who said, yes, there was no hitting in this game, but the intensity was about a 7 out of 10.
Thank you very much, Rob. Some pretty good hockey players to practice against, huh?
Yeah.
So we got 4-on-4 hockey now after that skirmish before we went to break. So plenty of room to roam. Gentile is out there and Ben Allison. So Tyler Nogler has a couple of his top-end offensive players on the ice. Here's Dawson Holt in there on the forward check. Keeler is there as well. St. Mary's trying to get it off the kick plate. Gentile can't handle it. Played off the boards, and now moving in is Keeler. He'll dump it down in the corner. Kinneberg is in there as he moves up on the play. Heavy lifting in that corner. Back to the point. Here's Cozier. He wants to go for a skate. Almost stumbled there. Got the puck stripped away from him. And now on it is Keeler. Here goes cross ice. Koser fanned on that shot attempt. Dawson Holt in a puck battle. Mr. Everything for the Saskatchewan team. Here's Holt. Holt feathers the pass for Jordan. He couldn't handle it cleanly. And now back out to center ice. 59 seconds remaining in 4-on-4 hockey. Here's Jordan. Down low. Pillar with a shot. Whistle it wide. Kept in the zone. Oh, momentarily kept in the zone by Reinhardt. Here's Jordan. Off this near side flank, takes a shot. Vandenberg makes the save, and he'll hang on and slow things down.
Well, that's about 38 seconds of sustained hockey by the Saskatchewan Huskies inside St. Mary's zone. In fact, both their defensemen went to the bench during an offensive zone play. They were 2 against 4 and still controlling the puck here.
Talking to Coach Cote, he says, without a doubt, his team, they hit the stride at the right time going into the playoffs. He says they're playing their best hockey of the campaign, and that would be expected when you're 6-0 in the playoffs. Puck sent down the ice here, and that will be an icing call against the St. Mary's Huskies. Okay, the 2026 Miller Waste Systems U Sports Women's Hockey Championship is in Woolwich, Ontario this weekend. Tickets are on sale now. Visit usportstickets.ca to order your tickets today. Chase the glory. Peter Ruckgazer, Kevin Figsby, quarterfinal number 2 here from Halifax. No score in the Battle of the Sled Dogs, St. Mary's and Saskatchewan. 4:32 remaining in the first period. This is Pillar. Tries to maneuver, comes off the wall. Pillar above the circles. His shot is blocked. As that was Holmes that got in that one. Holmes, a former Dallas Stars draft pick. Here's Pillar. He'll play it over. Jordan now. So we're back to 4-on-4 hockey here. And now we're back to 5-a-side hockey. Here's Jordan. Saskatchewan now want to rev it up a little bit. Long lead pass gets deflected and goes out of play. So the pace has slowed down just a little bit here, Kevin.
Yeah, that pace slowed down on the 4-on-4 when you thought it might open up a little bit. But what you saw there was Saskatchewan moving the puck, and St. Mary's just happy to keep it to the outside right now and get back to 5-on-5, where they've been able to play their physical game and lay out their game plan.
So the faceoff will come to center ice. Take a look at Brandon Cote. Took over from Mike Babcock. This is his 4th year as the head coach of the Saskatchewan team. Played around the boards. Uberti gets it. His shot goes off a stick. Ritchie comes down. Tried to keep that puck in the zone. Is successful. And now jumping on this one is Pelche. Saunderson. Barros. Ritchie tried to hold the line and couldn't. Out to center ice. 3:19 remaining in the period. Uberti getting physical. Here's Roulette off the boards. Off that far side. This is Berthelot. Berthelot twisting and turning in the corner. He's looking for an option here. He'll take it from low to high. There's a shot that goes off a skate, as that was Koshier that jumped on the ice. And Saskatchewan, they almost got caught with too many men on the ice.
That was a close one. They have to be careful right now with their line changes. We're inside the last 3 minutes of the period. You don't want to get caught with too many men on here.
Here's Kinneberg, navigates through the neutral zone. He'll dump the puck in. St. Mary's trying to get the puck out. And now finally do. Both teams playing a little cautious here in the late stages of this opening frame. Dillingham, he'll play it behind his net. Chisholm off the boards, out of the zone between the two blue lines. Played over here for Sorensen, and that was Tkachuk. Couldn't get outside of the zone. Fans U Sports wants to hear from you about viewing experiences. Visit usportsfans.ca or click the QR code on the screen to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about your experience watching U Sports Championship Athletics. And another icing here. Yeah, so the pace, Kevin, has really bogged down here with 2:09 remaining in the first period.
That 4-on-4 kind of took the pace away from both teams, where now they're looking to get out of the period, not make any mistakes, not take any penalties, and then come back out and get rebooted in the second period with that high-intensity end-to-end play.
So face-off to the right of Vandenberg. Off the scramble, Saskatchewan trying to get possession. Jordan with a shot. A little bit of friendly fire there as it went off a Keeler. Gentile tries to drag that around. Reinhardt is successful, and St. Mary's going to get called for another penalty here. And it's Van Loon. Van Loon back to Hotel Bow Wow once again.
Yeah, it looked like he just lost control of his stick on the forecheck and got it underneath the skates of the Saskatchewan Huskies player. Let's have a look at that one again. So Gentile moves the puck in and puts it out to the front of the net off the side. Yep. And Van Bloom just loses control of his stick. He pulls it from behind him to his front of him, trying to make contact with the puck. Gets it in underneath the skates. And now he's given Saskatchewan the opportunity in the last 2 minutes to go on the power play.
Saskatchewan, they get possession in the O-zone. This is Connor Roulette. Up top for Cozier. Here's Petruic with a shot. Missed it on that blocker side. The half wall. Dawson Holt. Last 2 seasons taking medicine along with playing, so he's got a heavy workload. Cozier with a shot again. That got deflected. St. Mary said it went off the mesh. They come back the other way. Here's a chance. DeFonseca trying to take it to the net, and he gets held up. And a penalty against Saskatchewan. Is it a penalty shot?
Looks like he's calling a holding on this one, but I thought that might have been a penalty shot. I thought he had the advantage on him, but the referee didn't. Let's go and have a look at this one again. Saskatchewan breaking out. We split the defense here. He just reaches in on him. Ooh. Oh, he didn't have control of the puck is what I think the referee saw on that one.
But St. Mary's, they were saying that puck went out of play. They said it went in the mesh. The play continued, and anyways, it ended up being a great scoring opportunity
and now
for St. Mary's.
We've got, I'm not sure if they're going to review that right now. The benches are calling for it, but I think he just wanted to have a discussion and give his team a chance to settle down again. So we're going to finish this period 4-on-4, which is probably what St. Mary's wanted when they got that last penalty, which was a play gone wrong, let's say.
Yes. So for the next minute 13, we'll have 4-on-4 hockey. Keeler drops it off. Sent in by Reinhardt along the boards and out of the zone, trying to catch up to this one. This Uberte moves in, drops it back, and they score! Reed Valad!
Talk about taking advantage of the situation.
Reed Valad, the second highest point getter in U Sports, and he opens up the account for St. Mary's.
Well, we knew Reed Valad was going to be an offensive threat coming in. So we got to drive down here. What a beautiful back pass. And Reed Valad doesn't make any mistake with that. With 53 seconds, he's given the St. Mary's Huskies a 1-0 lead in a 4-on-4 situation.
Nice feed from Jake Uberte, as I mentioned. Only played 3 games during the regular season. Didn't play in the series against UP. Yeah, he had 3 points in 3 games, and then all of a sudden he was injured. And the third-year forward puts it on a tee for Valad, and it's 1-0 for St. Mary's. 46 seconds remaining in this opening period. Down that far side, Barros, he takes a hit from Ritchie. Barros gives it away. Chance here now for Allison with a shot. That's stopped by Meyer. Barros, he'll feed it ahead for Stibbings. He'll delay inside his own zone. And now Kinneberg gets the GPS out as he navigates neutral zone. Big hit, as that was Hopkins that stepped into his man. Kinneberg, good job by St. Mary's to take that puck away from Saskatchewan in the neutral zone, and that is going to do it for 20 minutes of play. And you hear the approval of the folks here in Halifax as Reed Valad gets things going for St. Mary's as they lead 1-0. Your impressions on the period?
You know, the home team and host team has given their fans everything they came to see tonight. Every time this University Cup's been held here in Halifax, the fans have come out in tremendous support. The last time that it was here was during COVID. There was one day and there was almost 6,000 fans in attendance. And we're told there's close to 9,000 tonight.
So there you see the score, 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Let's send it down to Rob Pizzo.
Walk us through that goal.
Great play by Oobs. He missed a lot of time this season. He's a huge piece to get back for us during this tournament. He just made an incredible play, and I was lucky enough to be there and put it in.
You come in as the 8th seed. Someone forgot to tell your team. How happy are you with that first 20 minutes?
That was perfect. We couldn't have started any better. I think, the crowd, the energy, we had some big hits there. That was a great first 20. We're going to look to keep that rolling for the next 40.
Speaking of the crowd, what's it like playing at home? As I mentioned, the 8th seed, but doesn't feel like it with the crowd here.
Yeah, it's awesome. The city of Halifax is such a passionate city when it comes to sports. This turnout is incredible, and we got the energy with them behind us. So
that was a physical first period. Can we expect more in the second?
Absolutely, it's going to keep coming.
Thanks so much. Good luck at the second.
Thank you.
And there you see Reed Vlad, former Peterborough Pete. Last season, he was a bottom 6 player for this St. Mary's team, was given an opportunity to play in the top 6, and he's taken advantage of it.
He certainly has, and he's one of the players we said that we would be watching tonight, and he's certainly proven up to the marquee.
Okay, we're stepping away. We'll come back with more. Our intermission report is coming up. More U Sports Hockey for you on CBC Gem.
Delaney, territoire du Nord-Ouest. Le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles. Des athlètes de grand talent. Des sports de haut niveau. Tout ça sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est simple et gratuit sur ici-tout.tv.
Every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible, beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to Halifax. It's 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Reed Vlad has got the goal for the St. Mary's Huskies. It is time now to learn more about the student athletes competing in this year's University Cup. Here is 2 minutes with Saskatchewan goalie Nolan Meyer.
Hi, my name is Nolan Meyer, goaltender of University of Saskatchewan. I'm in my first year of Arts and Science. I'm from Yorkton, Saskatchewan. My dad, I think just growing up in Saskatchewan, I was always out on the rinks and learned to skate from my dad. He played a little bit of professional hockey, so I was able to pick a few tricks up from him. I think what initially drew me to the position was just the gear. I think everything about it, just really wanted to do it, and then I've just kind of fell in love with it ever since. I would say I'm very athletic. I like to read the play. I rely on my skating a lot. I'm not the biggest guy in goalie standards, so I like to skate and use my feet as much as I can. I think just our buy-in from our team. I think once we knew playoffs was kind of started, we just kind of flipped the switch and played a certain way, and we were able to come out with some good chances, and just that led to everybody's success. I think just the competition. Everyone grows up playing high-level hockey here, so being able to play the best on the best is always what you want to strive for. So to be able to do that in such a special city is pretty exciting. No, I haven't really planned it out. I know lots of the guys in the room and myself, lots of family and friends are coming down just to experience the whole University Cup. So it's very exciting for everyone. Yeah, it's hard. This is my first year, my first semester actually. So it's been a big change. It's hard, it's difficult, but I think just being on top of your studies and just on top of everything, but with the help of everyone around you, it goes a long way. So it's definitely not easy, but it's rewarding.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète, née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble. Avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey. Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici-tout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
This isn't about just showing up. It's about what you're willing to give. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. The work that matters, it happens long before anyone's watching. But it's never done alone. And when it gets hard, this team's behind you. Because the biggest victories, they're the ones that we earn together.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
There are those among us who never run away from problems. Instead, they run to them. When we never settle for the world that's been built, that's when we drive it forward, towards something better. Better outcomes for clients. And better futures for our communities. At Cushman & Wakefield, we believe better never settles.
Sports on CBC, presented by Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox Sporty, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Steel Mazda.
Beautiful night in Halifax, Nova Scotia. There you see the score, the home team on a goal by Reed Vlad. St. Mary's with the lead over the University of Saskatchewan. Let's get into the math now. Show you some numbers here from that first period of play. Anything stand out for you, Kevin?
Well, I think the thing that stands out the most is the 10-6 shots in favor of the St. Mary's Huskies. They were down 0-3 at one point in time.
There you see the stats and face-offs in favor of St. Mary's, and we don't have the stat for hits, but I get the sense that St. Mary's has out-hit the Saskatchewan team maybe just a little bit.
Well, we're going to talk about how physical this game has been so far, but let's take a look. 7 block shots to 4 means guys are really into this game from a physical perspective. Here we come down. We've got St. Mary's taking a shot, hits the goalpost, comes back. Then we have a big hit in the corner. This game has just been physical from the start of the drop of the puck until the end of the period. We got a couple of really good scoring opportunities hitting the post in both ends of the ice.
Here's another big hit. Yeah, Leon Ironsby. He had a couple of real massive hits, number 61 for St. Mary's. And there's another one right there. I mean, he is like a bowling ball heading towards pins.
Yeah, the other part to this has been there's been a number of scrums after the whistle. And neither team right now is given an inch in the physical part of the game. The hitting was ramped up in the neutral zone, a lot of contact in the corners, and a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistles not to give an inch. And then we had the beautiful goal coming down on the right side by Reed Vlad. He gets the drop pass in the slot, and he buries the puck.
1-0 for St. Mary's over Saskatchewan. We're stepping away. We're coming back. Second period action just around the corner.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible, beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
You see a nice view just outside of Halifax. We got a nice view inside Scotiabank Centre. 1-0 lead for the St. Mary's Huskies over the University of Saskatchewan. A physical first period as we get ready to get going here. And there you see young Mr. Vandenberg, first-year player who's come in here, and he had a great season, got an opportunity to play because of all the injuries that we talked about. And there's Reed Vlad. What a great goal that was.
What a fabulous goal. A great drop pass, and Reed Vlad made no mistake about that. He buried it right where we wanted to. We've got the first minute coming up here, and it's going to be a crucial minute for the University of Saskatchewan. 5 seconds in, they're going to be on a 43-second penalty kill, and St. Mary's going to do everything they can to put the pressure on.
So we're underway, second period action. Peter Rutgazer, Kevin Thigsby, and our entire CBC Gem crew. Glad you can join us here this evening. Here's Ben Allison, wrangling off the post in the first. Play broken up and sent down the ice by Dawson Hull. Allison has got some room here. He'll lay it off. Gentile navigates through the neutral zone, gains the line, surrounded by Saskatchewan Huskies. This is Holmes with a shot. He scores! That was tipped by Big Ben Allison. And the St. Mary's Huskies have taken a 2-0 lead.
Well, St. Mary's waited until they were on the power play here. They killed the first 5 seconds, got their man back on, and then went to work on their offensive part of their game. We're going to have a look at that goal again here. Comes back to the point. It's kept in at the point, then the pass comes over, shot right to the front of the net with the screen, and I think that puck may have been deflected in front by Allison.
Here's a second look here.
Low shot from the point, hard to determine.
So Ben Allison, 50 points during the season. He gets a big goal right there for St. Mary's, and they up their lead to 2-0 early in the second period.
Well, we've seen before that this game will never be over until this game is over, but I'll tell you right now, St. Mary's has to be feeling really good about their play so far. Coming in as the 8th seed, taking on the number 1 seed, and right now they're up 11 shots to 6, and they're up 2-0 on the scoreboard where it counts.
This is the healthiest this team has been since early in the season, as one of those players that was on the DL for a long time, Bertie, he gets chased out of the faceoff circle. Had the assist on that goal from Reed Vlad in the first. Saskatchewan now have to figure some things out. Played across, and that's going to be offside. And one player that has been kind of quiet is that gentleman right there, Chance Petruic. He had 36 points during the regular season, 9 points in 6 games during the postseason. And boy, they have really nullified number 11.
They've been able to keep their top players, their top offensive players, to the outside every time they come down with the puck. And Chance Petruic is one of the players we're going to continue to keep our eye on because he's such an offensive threat. He'll get his game going fairly soon here.
Here's Ben Boyd in over the line now. Boyd sent it towards the net. Played back to the point. Ritchie gets it down low. And now Sorensen, he takes a hit. St. Mary's now trying to get something going in the neutral zone. They turn it over. This is Tkachuk. Renier tried to center it. Got closed down there by Ritchie. Rimmed around the boards. Back to Barros. Tries to get it deep. Arnsby had 2 massive hits in that period and a scoring chance, number 61. Little button hook in the corner and a shot by Hopkins. And Meyer makes the save. Just a reminder, tomorrow, 12 Eastern, more U-Cup action from here in Halifax. Battle of the French-Canadian teams. This is going to be very interesting. UQTR offensive juggernaut taking on Moncton.
And it just happens to be on the Journée des Francophonie demain. So we've got both our Francophone teams that are here, the University of Moncton and University of Quebec at Trois-Rivières.
Trois-Rivières, they won the Queen's Cup, came from behind against Windsor. They were down 3-0. And no lead is safe against that Pats team. Here's Holmes. Just played it inside the line. Dillingham played 1 season in the Toronto Maple Leaf organization. Played across now, Gentile. Gentile fires a shot. That missed. Keeler jumps on that loose puck, tries to play it down the wall, kept in. Vlad. He was looking for Allison in the high slot. Ben Allison, his dad, Jason Allison, former first-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. So he's got the hockey genes. Keeler in there battling for it, number 10 for Saskatchewan. And now here's Dawson Holt. Holt, his pass intercepted. Puck bouncing around a little bit. Cato, he held up Stibbings just a tad. Might have got away with some interference. Vlad, he gets run into. And now, this is St. Mary's. Huberti, he'll deflect the puck in. Barros gives it away. Played back to the point. Cato, he couldn't go D to D. Comes out of the zone. Olsen trying to shut down that play. And another offside call at the St. Mary's line.
Well, right now what we've got is there's no sustained in-zone play right now because both teams are playing tentative. They're feeling each other out. St. Mary's is sitting back a little bit going, wait a second here. We have to make smart plays in our own zone. We don't need to force too much. And Saskatchewan is yet to get their offensive attack and their offensive drives going. They have not found a way to get in deep on St. Mary's and create any sustained offense.
Shots on net now 12-6 in favor of St. Mary's. Ethan Ritchie. Off the boards, kicked at by Jordan. Pelche backs him up. Pelche in over the line. He'll peel, sends it across. Reinhardt can't keep it in. He gets it deep, but Saskatchewan, they got to tag up. Send into the corner, off the boards. Here's Berthelot. He can dangle it. Berthelot picks it up far side corner. He'll go from low to high. Wants to go for a skate. Shot that's blocked out in front. This is Jordan. Tried to put it in the sweet spot there for Berthelot. Didn't materialize, but Saskatchewan, they got the cycle going. There's a shot right on. Vandenberg makes the save and cleared down the ice. That was a nice stretch there for Saskatchewan. And that goes for icing. Do you get the sense that Saskatchewan kind of rushing their plays a little bit?
Yeah, they were pretty under control in the first period there. And since the score's gone to 2-0 right now, they look like they're a little out of sync. Look like they're forcing a little bit too much, a little bit more individual play. And with all of the cycling they're doing in the zone, they're just not in sync at this point in time in the game where they need to be.
Face off to the left of Meyer. Started the season off in the East Coast Hockey League with Idaho. There's this shot from off the boards as that was Dillingham that came down. Puck loose in front. And now Saskatchewan trying to find an exit strategy and can't. Reinhardt over here for Jordan. He gave it away in the corner, comes in front dangerously. And now Berthelot, he'll just lob it out to center. Again, another dangerous play around the Saskatchewan net by the Huskies. Dillingham, he's got room on that far side. Makes one move, slaloms on in. Tried to center it off the skate. Gentile tried to step into that one and couldn't. Here's Ben Boyd. His shot, that goes off the body. Saskatchewan off the glass and out of the zone. And trying to get to it was Connor Roulette. We talked about Petruk being kind of quiet, so was Roulette.
Yeah, some of the players that we've been expecting have really been shut down so far in this game through the first 25 minutes. But you know, when you're a good player, you find a way. You find a way. But what we've got to do and what Saskatchewan's got to do right now is try and find a way to get some sustained offense inside the St. Mary's zone. They're too good an offensive team not to settle this down and move the puck to the outside, try and get some wide-angle shots with some rebounds and traffic in front of the net.
Allison wins the draw, just cleared out of the zone. Kosier, D-to-D over for the captain, Kinneberg. Puck deflected in, jumping on it as Pillar. Here's Derek Gentile. Played for Sheffield in the English League, earlier this season. Was getting fourth line minutes, but power play time. And there's the shot. Vandenberg makes the save, and Gentile didn't particularly like that and decided, hey, I'm going to come back home to Halifax and play in the U Cup. And he is a big offensive player for the St. Mary's team.
He's been a dominant player so far for St. Mary's, and he's logged a lot of ice time thus far because of his play. He's created a number of offensive scoring opportunities for St. Mary's, and it's a matter of time before one of his shots might find the back of the net.
Another player that Saskatchewan will have to try to shut down here. Here's Vlad. Vlad with speed coming off the flank. Vlad making a great move. Steered aside there by Meyer. Koser trying to battle and get that puck. Sorensen down low to Kachik. Behind the net it goes. That was Renier up top. Saunderson, all he could do was poke at it, but it works out for Saskatchewan. They'll funnel it behind the net. Ethan Renier to Kachik. Back for Barros. He plays it across. Saunderson off the end boards. Right there is Sorensen, but that was sealed off. Saskatchewan now, this is what you were talking about, Kevin. They got something cooking in the O-zone. Play behind the net. To Kachik now, trying to settle the puck down. Saunderson comes down off the point, pinches. Holmes lays it to this near side corner. This is Dillingham. He takes the heavy hit, and now Saskatchewan, they got something going here. They're feeling confident off the boards and down the ice. That's what they want more of.
That's exactly what they need. Saskatchewan's been trying to move the puck across the top, and St. Mary's have been able to shut it down. Now they're moving the puck down low, and that last sequence gave them about 40 seconds of sustained pressure inside St. Mary's zone.
Arnsby just threw another hit as that was on Barros. And Barros gets nailed again. This time by Ben Boyd, I tell you. Young Mr. Barros, Logan Barros, he's taking some heavy hits, and there you see Ben Boyd. He's having a great time here. And watch Vlad, Reed Vlad, boy, he's got a bunch of great moves. Take a look at this.
There's a reason Reed Vlad's an All-Canadian, and he just showed it right there with those moves on his drives to the net. He's been relentless. He's been relentless, and if you watch his skating, he's one of the better skaters out there tonight on the ice. His edge work is phenomenal.
Hey, don't take anything away from what he just did on that play, but it helps when you got a winger playing defense. That was Tkachuk back there, backpedaling. Boy, this game has been real physical. That was Reinhardt stepped into Ritchie, and now the net comes off the pegs. And we'll get a stoppage. 12:48 remaining in the second period.
You know, we've got a St. Mary's team, and again, no one told was the number 8 seed. They came into tonight's game saying, hey, we're just going to lay it all out there. We're going to see what happens, and we're going to take whatever happens to our advantage and run with it. And that's what they've done.
More physical play in this game, and that's McDonald lost an edge and went into the net, knocked down Meyer as well. I still can't get over that .962 save percentage in the playoffs for Meyer.
Well, that's phenomenal. And again, we're talking about the Canada West champion that went on a 6-0 run through the playoffs. There's still a lot of hockey to be played out there in the ice tonight.
Meyer makes the stop there. This is Gentile in a puck battle. And now it comes to Dawson Holt. He'll chip and chase after it into the corner. Ritchie is right there to cancel him out. Played to the point, but comes out of the zone. Cossier. He'll lob it in. Hopkins, look out. There's Keeler. He throws a check. Shot by Cossier. That puck pinballs around in front of the net. Hopkins. Little soft rim around the boards. They go cross ice with it. And now Gentile. He'll dump the puck in. He goes off on a change. Dawson Holt. Turned it over. Bad turnover. Trying to take it to the net is Vlad. Allison was there. Vlad jumps on that puck again. Above the circles. Played down into the corner. This is De Fonseca. Swiss Army knife for the St. Mary's team. Plays it back to the point. Olsen fans on it. And now Pelche. He'll slide it over for Hayes. Hayes gets that puck taken away from him. Raphael Pelche onto the stick of Hayes. Goes down in the corner. He gets taken into the boards. This St. Mary's team, this might be the most physical game I've seen them all season long play. Big hit, and that's Barros again. In front of chance. De Fonseca with a nice look. Vlad, he takes a shot, and that stop, and it sticks to Meyer. But boy, Logan Barros, he might have to get a sponsorship from an ice making company because he's been nailed 4 or 5 times in this game. He might want to change professions.
Well, he seems to be one of the players they know that they have to shut down and target with the physical play and keep him off his game. And that's exactly what St. Mary's is doing. They're taking advantage of every opportunity to put the body on. That one registered on the Richter scale when he came in there.
That was Uberti that got physical and nasty on that play.
And they were at the end of a shift as well. So it just shows what type of intensity is out there right now. And the way St. Mary's is playing, they're just going for naught.
Arnsby to take the drop for St. Mary's here. Getting chased out of the face-off circle is Pillar. Roulette will come in now. Face-off one. There's Dylan Andrews. Hammered that one wide, and Hopkins couldn't hold the line. Ethan Ritchie tried to find Chisholm. No good. Roulette now gets a bounce his way. There's a shot. Sent that one wide. Puck now loose in the high slot. Now St. Mary's 3 abreast. It's a 3-on-2. This is Chisholm. Chisholm goes rink wide. A chance out in front. And that puck went off of Dylan Andrews. Arnsby, I don't know if he was trying to shoot the puck or feed Andrews, but it didn't work out. No icing here. Vandenberg has to come out of the net and play it. Played up along the boards. Jumped on now by Petruic. This is Cossier. He got his pocket picked. Out of the zone it comes. And now Roulette, he's got to get back there on his horse. Trying to nullify the icing was Gentile. And now we got pushing and shoving as there's Gentile. And Petruic, I think he's getting a little frustrated here now. Gentile and Petruic going at it. Here's the last chance by St. Mary's.
Yeah, we have McDonald coming down and moving that puck to the far side. And then we just penetrate right into the front of the net looking for a tip-in goal. St. Mary's is dominating right now from an offensive perspective. And as you said, Chance Petruic has not found his offensive game right now. And St. Mary's has made him one of the players that they're shutting down by playing physical every time he touches the puck.
Face-off won by Saskatchewan. Here's Kozer. He activates. He'll take it behind the cage. Centers it out in front. It comes back to catch it. Filling in. That puck loose in the blue paint. And it's frozen by Vandenberg. So we're going to step out. 9:56 remaining in the second period. We've got more physical action here. Logan Barros takes a big hit from Uberti.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
So the Saskatchewan Huskies entered this tournament as the #1 seed, and that tends to happen when you go perfect in the playoffs. They've made history this month by becoming the first team in the Canada West to go a perfect 6-0, but they're down 2-0 in this game. It's the first time they've trailed all postseason. And check this out, over the last 9 University Cups, the #1 seed, just 5-4 against the #8 seed.
Thank you very much, Rob. 9:56 remaining in the second. There's Chance Petruik. He has no shots in this game. Face off against Ben Allison. Allison has a goal in this contest. Here's Connor Roulette. That puck goes down low. They reverse it. Gentile, he dodges a check, gets to the center ice. Trenholm. He'll dump the puck into the corner. Meyer has to come out and play it. Board battle on this near side. Trenholm centers it in front. Gentile right there. The puck came to him, went off the stick of Kinneberg, and Gentile, he pounced on that one and missed a great opportunity.
Well, we have to keep our eye again on Derek Gentile. He's doing all the work necessary tonight to create strong plays in the offensive zone for the St. Mary's Huskies. And it's because of his efforts that there's been a lot of sustained drives, and St. Mary's seems to be building off of it. Every time he's on the ice, something's happening, and he goes back to the bench, and the next guys come out, and they want to make something happen just the way Derek Gentile did.
So he'll take a little bit of a breather. You're going to see a lot more of number 12 for St. Mary's. Holt plays it off the boards. Here's Keeler. Motors the center ice. He'll dump it in. Stibbings gets on his horse. Tries to get it on the forecheck. Can't get there in time. St. Mary's. They come back on the attack. Reed Vlad got it poked away from him. Good job by Ritchie to defend. Ethan Ritchie, his brother Callum Ritchie, a rookie with the Islanders. There's his shot, no problems for Vandenberg. And he'll hang on for the St. Mary's Huskies. And just a reminder, coming up on the full CBC network, we will have the championship game, 12 p.m. Eastern. And we still got a lot of hockey before we get to Sunday, but that championship game is going to be very interesting to see who gets the big dance.
And there's a lot of players out there competing, wanting to make sure that they're in that game.
Face off to the right of Vandenberg. 9 minutes remaining in the second period. Puck floated down the ice. Ben Boyd, look out. And that's going to be an icing. And Boyd took a little bit of a run anyways at Cozier. And Ben Boyd, a product of the Charlottetown Islanders, and that abrasive style. Jim Holton, the head coach in Charlottetown, he likes his players mean and nasty, and Ben Boyd for the Islanders, he was one of those type of players.
Well, Jimmy Holton's always coached that way.
Yes.
For years, Trevor Steinberg coached that way at St. Mary's University. And tonight he was honored here tonight, along with his team from 2010 that were inducted into the St. Mary's Hall of Fame recently.
Trevor Steinberg, a U Sports legend. Many years the head coach of the St. Mary's team. This is Chisholm to the net over top of the cage. Allison comes on the ice. Dillingham has to come back inside his own zone. Connor Olsen. That puck deflected in by Allison. Bertholet dangerously in front of his own net. That gave Brandon Cote some gray hairs, I'm sure. Far side. Big hit along the wall by Gentile. Gentile, not only an offensive player, he'll get his nose, he'll stick it in to the rough areas. A little bit of a board meeting down low as they hack away at it. Barros, he's taken a number of hits in this one. I'm surprised he's still out there. Play to the point now. Kinneberg, that's blockered away by Vandenberg. Saskatchewan now trying to get something going. Here's Barros through traffic. That got blocked. Gobbled up by Saskatchewan. They play it back to the point. Here's Barros skating the line, trying to find a lane. Kinneberg, he lets a shot go. Sorensen lift the stick and had the puck momentarily. Kinneberg dumps it in Saskatchewan. They'll make a change. And now Vandenberg decides to freeze it once more.
Well, that was a sustained pressure by Saskatchewan that part. And that's what they're going to have to do from now to the end of the period. Try and create more scoring opportunities and hope to come out of this period down by one or better if they have that opportunity. But right now, that's been one of their most opportunistic shifts of this second period.
Another face-off to the right of Vandenberg, won by St. Mary's. That puck played out in front by De Fonseca. Not sure if he got his wires crossed there. That was dangerous. The puck goes out of play and we'll get a stop with 7:11 remaining. Charlie De Fonseca will put him in almost any situation and he'll get the job done for you, any assignment you give him. And 90 points in 106 U Sport regular season games, so very productive.
We got to keep our eye as well on Connor Roulette right now.
Yeah, he's got to get going too, number 14 for Saskatchewan. Rink wide pass got disrupted by Pillar, sent in. Fonseca on the forecheck. There's Saunderson. Off the glass out of the zone. Dillingham under pressure. Good job to get away from the forecheck. Played off to the flank. Fonseca, diagonal dump in. Nice play by Cole Jordan. He takes a hit as Uberti got in there and just hammered Cole Jordan in over the line now. Little toe drag doesn't work there for Saskatchewan. And now flying down the wing. This is Arnsby, a shot putter right on the mark. And it's squeezed by Meyer.
Well, there's going to be a lot of ice bags being shared in between periods here again, and certainly after the game. This is a game we expected tonight to be physical, but I'll tell you right now, every chance they've got to put the hit, put the body when they're playing along the boards is taking energy out of the Saskatchewan team right now, and that's part of St. Mary's game plan. They're fresh. They've been off for a while. The Canada West champions come in here with less than a week's rest, and St. Mary's has been doing everything they can to take the body to them and slow down their play.
It's a shot from off the boards by Ben Boyd. Yeah, I mean, they have really gotten after this Saskatchewan defense on the forecheck and have created havoc. You keep doing that over and over again, you know, the hearts and the minds will wilt a little bit.
And as you get tired, you start to hear the guys coming and you don't move as fast for the puck. You start protecting yourself.
Here's Holt, and Holt, as he got checked there by Chisholm. Chisholm got a piece of Holt. Chisholm now He got away from Cozier, able to get in the corner, and again Chisholm. As this St. Mary's team, they must have had a lot of red meat for breakfast. There's a shot deflected, pad saved by Meyer. Kinneberg, look out! As he just got out of the way of that freight train. That was Ben Boyd. If you're allergic to boards or glass, this might not be the game for you. Trying to wind it up. Pelche surrounded by St. Mary's Huskies. Kinneberg, he'll send it in, goes high glass. Pelche jumps on it. Tried to get it around, he got double teamed in the corner. Puck comes loose. Allison just gets it out of the zone. This is a masterclass here from St. Mary's on how to handle things defensively, I think, Kevin.
Well, what they're doing is Saskatchewan's dumping the puck in, and St. Mary's is getting right on it.
Whoa!
And here we have another Gold Mill scramble. Puck to the front.
We were just praising St. Mary's on their defensive play, and that was a tricky one right there for Vandenberg.
A little bit of a lapse in front of the net between the defensemen looking to see who they were going to hit rather than moving that puck out off the save.
Now, everybody's got to be cool and chill out a bit here, as that is Cato, as he has a few words with Raphael Pelche. Let's take a look at this opportunity.
You know, we had a great save down the one end from Meyer here when he comes out with the leg save, and then Saskatchewan's able to move the puck up. Then it comes down, and we have a save by Vandenberg at the other end.
Yeah.
And then they rush the net hard and want to get in. That's one opportunity they've had to get in tight on him and try and rattle him a little bit and get him off of his game. I don't think that's going to work tonight the way the St. Mary's Huskies are playing, because they're going to come back and play even more physical if that's the game plan here.
So let's see. It's 4-on-4 hockey, as Cato was off for St. Mary's and Pelche for Saskatchewan. So once again, some 4-on-4, plenty of room there. Maybe a chance for Saskatchewan get something going offensively.
The last time we were in this situation, Peter, it was a 4-on-4 where St. Mary's came down the ice and scored that first goal to take the advantage and take the lead in tonight's game. We'll see how this one goes for the Saskatchewan Huskies here off the draw.
St. Mary's, they win the draw right there. Behind the net is Ritchie. Ethan Ritchie, right down Main Street. Gains the zone, plays it to that far side. Puck behind the net. Laid off there from Uberti. Nice toe drag. Takes a shot off the crossbar. Is it good? No. It was waved off immediately. And now they're going to have to take a look at it. I think it went off the bar. St. Mary's, they think they have a goal here.
Well, until we know, we'll wait and see. But what a play by Uberti. He takes the puck, fakes, drops it behind, comes down, and takes that far shot. And that, to me, looks like it may have hit mesh underneath that crossbar. We'll see what the referees call here.
They're going to take a look at it, and we'll take a look at it again. Look at Uberti. What a toe drag that was.
And what a well-placed shot.
Yes. You know, I was talking to Coach Nogler, and every time they would play the UPI Panthers, I go, is Uberti in? And he'd say no. And so today, I talked to him again, and he's not playing, right? And he goes, no, he's in. So Jake Uberti, we'll see if he's got a goal. So they're going to take a look at it on that pad, and we'll take a look at it here. You judge for yourself. Nice toe drag. That was pretty slick. I don't know. What do you think?
From that angle, it looks like it hit the bar. It could be a 50-50, and the way things are going right now, we're going to wait and see and let them make that final decision.
And you know, If that goes the way of St. Mary's with 4:43 remaining in the second, it'll be a bit of an uphill battle for Saskatchewan. They've got the troops to come back in the game, but they need to rev up their offensive game big time.
Yeah, what we're seeing so far is the 4-on-4 situations. There's an advantage to St. Mary's. You know, they're able to move the puck a little bit quicker. Here we go. That, they call it a goal.
It's a goal.
It's a goal by Uberti.
So Jake Uberti has given the St. Mary's team a 3-0 lead with 4:43 remaining in the period. And Coach Nogler, he's got a smile on his face. And that's their second goal, 4-on-4. So a 3-0 lead, 4:38 remaining in the second for the St. Mary's Huskies. Been off since February the 20th. They're fresh, and they're coming at Saskatchewan, and that puck goes out of play.
We've got 4 minutes to go here in this period. Saskatchewan's going to do everything they can to try and come and put one in the back of the net, because if not, the momentum will really shift to St. Mary's in the third period. They'll be worrying about managing the clock, managing their shifts, managing their time on ice, and they won't have much to worry about except keeping the puck up in front of them.
Saw a big upset in the first quarterfinal as the Lancers beat Mount Royal. I don't know if you could consider this an upset. I guess you could consider it an upset. And it's going to be offside at the St. Mary's line.
Well, we knew St. Mary's was going to come out and play a strong game in front of the home crowd tonight, and they've lived up to that so far. Right now, what we haven't seen is the massive offense of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. That was something we were expecting to see at the onset, and so far St. Mary's has shut it down with their physical play and have taken every advantage away from Saskatchewan by doing that.
Saskatchewan on the regular season. Chance here. They score! Connor Roulette gets it going for Saskatchewan. I was just about to say they had 121 goals during the regular season, third in Can West. And Connor Roulette moves in and gets Saskatchewan on the board.
So off the face-off, we see Connor Roulette step in between the two defensemen, steal the puck, and then go high over the shoulder of the goaltender. And he's one of the players we said would have to be a difference maker for Saskatchewan tonight. That's the Claire Drake Rookie of the Year award winner in U-Sport hockey. And what a play to give his team a little bit of life here at the end of the second period. Still lots of time to go here to close that gap.
And Connor Roulette in Can West playoff action, he had 5 goals and 7 assists. 12 points in 6 games. He was on fire.
Well, you knew at some point in time the Saskatchewan offense would come to life. And hopefully for Connor Roulette and his teammates, that's the play that'll give them a little bit more life and a little bit more drive to try and bring this game back within one.
That goal was a minute 21 after St. Mary's took the 3-0 lead. Or excuse me, 21 seconds. Played out to center ice. This is Vlad. And now the building's a little quiet here as you got St. Mary's Huskies fans a little apprehensive. This guy's not apprehensive. Vlad tries to center it. Cozier changes directions, and now he'll lug it up the ice. Down that far side wing, look out! As that was Gentile, he had ill intention. The center ice comes Ritchie, and he'll dump the puck in. Excuse me, that was Vlad that tried to throw the hit. He goes to the bench a little gingerly. Allison has to get back in the neutral zone. Here's Barros. Barros again. My goodness, Logan Barros. He's going to have bruises all over his body here. Puck sent in by McDonald. Comes around, centered out in front. Nobody there in a white and burgundy jersey. Holt dumps it in. Stibbing's on his horse. He gets there. Play broken up along the boards. There's Arnsby again. Man, oh man, he's had 4 or 5 real big hits. and now he's going to get called for an elbow. And Saskatchewan, they've got a chance to get to within one as they'll go on the power play. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that
that's
was
a no-doubter.
inverted. He looked like he lost his balance a bit trying to stop the puck with his skate, but nevertheless, that was the elbow that came up. I thought perhaps he had left his feet to put the elbow up, but when you see it on the replay, looks like he lost his balance. But as you said, here comes Saskatchewan's big offensive trio here now, and they're going to try and do everything they can to keep the pressure on, keep the puck inside the zone, and try and create some offense before the end of this period.
Saskatchewan 0 for 3 on the power play here this evening. Off the glass, down the ice. DeFonseca trying to get there. Meyer has to come out and play it. Great job by Chisholm to disrupt that play, and now it comes to Coase here. Loves to handle that puck. Roulette, who has the lone goal for Saskatchewan. He navigates on the near side half wall. Keeler back to Roulette. Petruik. Up top, Cozier. Petruik again, top of the left circle, sends it to the net. Holmes is there. He spins and sends it down the ice, and now St. Mary's, they want to change the PK. A quick up doesn't work for Saskatchewan. Here's chance Petruik over the line. Lets a shot go. That stopped. Big rebound. And does it come out of the zone? Yes, it does. Picked off. Here's McDonald moving in. Shorthanded bid. Oh, he tried to slide it past Meyer on the blocker side. Didn't happen. Roulette back the other way for Saskatchewan. Stibbings, he'll send it around the boards. Petruik couldn't get to that puck, and here's McDonald again. He's got all kinds of energy on this ship. Takes the shot, pad save, rebound right there for Trenholm, and he couldn't get to it. Two good shorthanded looks right there, Kevin.
Both by Jake McDonald. Somebody forgot to tell him he was on the penalty kill at that point in time.
27 seconds remaining in the power play, 56 seconds remaining in the frame. Laid off now for Barros. Barros, he'll skate the line a bit. Here's Pillar up top. Pillar, and blind pass. Berthelot had to reach for it. He's under pressure. Saskatchewan, they keep the puck in the zone. Here's Berthelot. 34 seconds remaining in the period. Barros with a shot. That got blocked out in front. Down the ice. Arnsby jumps on his horse. Wants to get after it. Meyer is there. He'll play it around. Arnsby, I think he'd rather hit than eat. He likes physical contact. Time winding down in this second period. Pillar. One last dash up the ice. Pillar plays it over. There's a shot. Doesn't get to the net. Allison will just jam it up against the boards. And that will do it for 40 minutes of play. It looked like St. Mary's, they were going to run away with it. But Saskatchewan, they get a goal by Roulette. And boy, some real good shorthanded chances here for St. Mary's.
Yeah, so we see Saskatchewan in total control of the puck and fail to keep it in. And then McDonald comes down, picks it off, and creates himself a scoring chance. And just missed the short side of the net there.
McDonald, he must have had a couple of airbags under his chest there because he went full throttle on that PK and raced up the ice twice and made things happen.
He's had a great go so far on the penalty kill for St. Mary's tonight. He's created offense that has kept Saskatchewan's power play on their heels because they know they're coming hard at them and they don't want to make a mistake right now in a 3-1 game.
So Saskatchewan, they get that goal from Connor Roulette. You could tell a little bit of tension with St. Mary's, but they've got a 2-goal lead here. Let's send it down to Rob Pizzo as he is with Saskatchewan's Connor Roulette.
Actually, we're here with Gunnar Kinnerberg, our captain of Saskatchewan. Gunnar, this is unfamiliar territory for your team. You haven't trailed at all during the playoffs. What's going to be the message coming out for the third period?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't trailed in playoffs, so we've trailed in the regular season before. We're just sticking to our game, keep it simple and just play our game. We're going to come hard in the third.
period even more physical. Is it going to be tough to keep your frustration in check and stay disciplined? Because obviously special teams going to come into play here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. Physicality, it's ramping up. It's going both ways, so that's good. The puck up fast, and they're going to be physical. It is what it is.
Tough knowing they're playing in front of a loud crowd here at home. Does that just kind of put you behind the eight ball right off the start?
I think we're enjoying it. It's quite fun. We get crowds like this at home, so we played in front of the crowds like this, so it's just exciting, really. It's a fun atmosphere to be a part of.
Thanks so much. Good luck in third.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. So there you see the city of Halifax and the St. Mary's Huskies. They've got themselves a 3-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. We're stepping away, and we'll come back with more of our intermission report. We roll on with more of the University Cup right here on CBC Gem.
Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
Across Canada, it starts the same way. A love for the game that unites us all. From hometown rinks to the world stage, we rise together. Every stride, every save, every dream, shared by every girl who's ever picked up a stick.
It's her shot, rebound in front, she scores!
Because when one rises, we all rise. Rise as one.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
Nighttime in Halifax, Nova Scotia. After 40 minutes of play, the St. Mary's Huskies, the host team, with a 3-1 lead over Saskatchewan. Speaking of St. Mary's, they've been led all season long by Ben Allison, the leading point getter in U Sports hockey this season. Here's 2 minutes with Big Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben Allison, third-year student at St. Mary's University. I'm a forward. I wear number 25. Well, it was pretty easy for me. My dad played professionally, and I kind of started my first couple of years of hockey following him. My brother plays, my dad's uncle plays, and it kind of runs through our family. And it's been in my blood for longer than I've been alive. So I would say I'm an offensive forward who likes to push the puck up the ice and set up players on my team for goals. And I think I can add an offensive touch as well. I think the big thing for us is just holding each other accountable and sticking to the script. I think we can have our moments where we fade away from it, but when we're in our best, it's when we're sticking to the script and playing together. For me personally, I would say it's a local tournament. It's hometown for me, and I'm really excited. For our team, it's mostly just to prove what we can do. We had a little negative spill there where we lost out in the first round, but I think our team has more than that, and that will prove this in the tournament here. Yeah, it's everything to me. I mean, this will be my last chance to play in front of my family and friends in Halifax, and I'm not going to take it for granted. I'm really excited, and I think you look back at guys like Nathan McKinnon, Johnny Drouin, like those are guys I idolized as a kid, and getting to play on this side of the ice, on this side of the rink, and the fans on my side will be pretty fun this time. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little juggle between our school and our hockey, but the program itself at SMU does a great job setting us up so we have no cracks in the armor, and it's a little bit of a grind, but when you get into it and you get used to it in your second and third year, it gets a little bit easier. I especially find that I got two loving parents that support me all the way through, and my other two siblings could say the same, and they're able to come support us all the time, and it means everything to me.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète, née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble. Avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey. Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
This isn't about just showing up. It's about what you're willing to give. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. The work that matters, it happens long before anyone's watching. But it's never done alone. And when it gets hard, this team's behind you. Because the biggest victories, they're the ones that we earn together.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
There are those among us who never run away from problems. Instead, they run to them. When we never settle for the world that's been built, that's when we drive it forward towards something better. Better outcomes for clients and better futures for our communities. At Cushman & Wakefield, we believe better never settles.
U-Sports on CBC, presented by l'U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox Sporty, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Steel Mazda.
Welcome back. There you see Halifax at night, and there you see the score. St. Mary's with the lead over the other Huskies from Saskatchewan. Let's show you the stats so far in this one. And Saskatchewan 0 for 3 on the power play, and they need to get something on special teams.
Yeah, that's been the difference so far. St. Mary's been able to shut them down, and then St. Mary's gets one power play and put the puck in the net. You know, the other thing we got to look at, Peter, is the block shot. St. Mary's just putting their body out there, not only in the physical play, but they're getting down, taking away some scoring opportunities with 11 versus 5 block shots. Our first highlight here is the goal that's scored by Ben Allison. Traffic in front of the net, shot directly on through the traffic right in the back of the mesh. And we have a big hit here at center ice. Again by St. Mary's, and they get back in there in the corner and put that sustained pressure on again with their physical play. And we have a big save there by Nolan Meyer.
Chance there for Gentile. He jumped on that puck and put it over top of the cage.
We've seen Derek Gentile have a few chances tonight.
Another big hit there from Roberti. And at the other end, Vandenberg, he had to be sharp as well.
He was sharp on the plays that he needed to be. And what they're going to do again in the third period, they got to come in and try and crowd him and put some pucks through traffic as well.
Pad save there by Meyer. Got that right pad out. And St. Mary's, they were getting some chances here. Here's the goal. We didn't know it was a goal, but they counted it.
And then you got to take a look back at that move by Jacob Verdi where he passes the puck to himself with the toe drag.
And Roulette, one of the big offensive keys for this Saskatchewan team, gets a goal. They really needed that one.
Connor Roulette has to be a big part of this offense in the third period for Saskatchewan.
Third period action up next.
Hey U-Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible. beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
Welcome back to Halifax. There you see the score, 3-1 for St. Mary's as we get ready for third period action. If you're Tyler Nogler, what's the message here for your St. Mary's team?
Well, you're telling your guys that they're playing well so far and they got 20 minutes to go. They got to stay on the game plan, keep making the sacrifices, keep playing the body, and keep doing everything that you've been doing. That's what's got us here. That's what's going to take us through.
Saskatchewan down by 2 goals, and that's not insurmountable for this Saskatchewan Huskies team. There's Arnsby in there. He's had some massive hits in this game. Number 61 for St. Mary's. Bertholet goes cross ice. This is Roulette with a shot. He scores! Connor Roulette, 15 seconds in. And hang on, folks, we got a game.
Well, Peter, when we went into the break, we said if Saskatchewan's going to have an opportunity, Connor Roulette's the guy they have to rely on, and he hasn't let them down. Puck develops deep in Saskatchewan zone. Great breakout. Great pass to the middle of the ice. Drives to the net. Just cuts in front of the goalie, and Connor Roulette puts that puck high and underneath the crossbar.
Nice look from down low. And boy, Connor Roulette, he got shot out of a cannon there. And Roulette from Bertholet and Keeler. They were like 3 F1 vehicles coming into the St. Mary's zone.
Well, Brandon Cote's message certainly got through in between the period because they came out and did exactly what they needed to.
And I'm sure the message was very colorful.
Yeah.
So now the puck in Saskatchewan zone here. This is Barros. Ethan Ritchie, now it's dead silent in here. Turnover. Petruik moves in, loads up. That shot is blocked. As that was Hopkins got in the way of that one. Saskatchewan bringing it. Barros just inside the line, takes a shot. Big rebound from Vandenberg. And you got to wonder about the first-year goaltender. What's his mindset like right now? Barros, he's got all kinds of room here, decides to hold up as his mates are making a change. Here's Cole Jordan. Jordan turned it over in the neutral zone. Can't be doing that if you're Saskatchewan. Bertie, he'll sling it around the boards. Here's Connor Olsen. Lets a shot go. That's blocked. And now Cato has to come back inside his own zone. As getting in the front of that shooting lane was Raphael Peltier, and he's hobbling around out there. Peltier stays out there. This is Cole Jordan, hits center ice, gains the O-zone, plays it over for Stibbings, got the puck poked away from him. Play a little scrambly here after that goal by Connor Roulette. And Saskatchewan down by a goal. Here's Jordan. Methodically tried to play it up ice. Nice move by Trenholm. Connor Trenholm down that far side wing. Puck in the corner, kicked at. Can St. Mary's keep it in? Yes, they can. Dillingham lets a shot go, and Barrows got a stick on that one and ramps up and goes out of play.
You know, Peter, we've just had 2 almost mirrored starts to a period where there's an early goal scored at the start of the second period, early goal scored at the start of the third. After that first goal was scored in the second period, we saw a little bit of jostling, a little bit of wait and see, and then the play started to ramp up. And we've got the exact same situation we've had in the second period to start the third period. Now we've got some errant passes, team standing a little back, questioning, and now we'll wait to see what breaks now.
Chopped out to center ice. Sorensen takes a shot. That's a stop right there by Vandenberg. Gentile on his horse. Oh, that puck didn't bounce for him properly, or else he would have been off to the races. Saunderson dumps that puck in. Lead over here now for Ben Allison. Allison hits center ice, dumps it in. Looked like he took a stick up high from Hayes. Saskatchewan now trying to set things up here. Approaching the 4-minute mark of the third period. Delayed offside, Saskatchewan, they've got to tag up here. Dillingham. Outlet pass for Andrews. That gets broken up. This is Roulette again. He's got the hot hand here for the Saskatchewan Huskies. Shot from the point, that stopped by Vandenberg, cleared. And now Chisholm, he'll lob it to center ice. Saskatchewan can't connect on a pass in the neutral zone. And that's going to be icing against St. Mary's.
And it seems like Saskatchewan's come out here in the third period and said, hey, we're not going to score unless we shoot. And right now what they've done is they've managed to narrow that margin of shots on the shot clock, and it's given them a little bit of advantage on the offensive side so far. What you saw there on St. Mary's is St. Mary's has been moving the puck really well up the outside. They started to try and go through the middle, and Saskatchewan was able to stop their rushes and come on the counterattack and create some offense.
I'm not a goalie expert, but some big, juicy, greasy rebounds there from Vandenberg has to be a concern for the St. Mary's Huskies. Around the boards, Keeler is there. Picked up an assist on that second goal by Roulette. Here's Uberti. Uberti off to the side. He took that pass from DeFonseca. Battled for it behind the net. Pillar comes over. He'll rim it around the boards. Berthelot, this guy's got speed to kill. Tries to settle the puck down in neutral ice. Vlad defended him. Villar over the line. Can't hang on to it, and now played back deep into St. Mary's territory. Here's Charlie DeFonseca. Native of Thornhill, Ontario. He'll dump the puck in. Kozer spins and heads up ice. Kozer in over the line. Good job there by Ritchie. Disrupted that play. Pillar has to get back there. Ben Allison trying to track him down. Played off a stick. Holt couldn't handle it. Saskatchewan, they'll play it forward, and that's going to be offside. I think Pillar was just ahead of Chance Petruic.
And again, what we're seeing is Saskatchewan's able to block at the blue line and create a counterattack off of it through the neutral zone. The transition now, the advantage has gone to Saskatchewan. And then you see St. Mary's starting to get the puck and doing what they did in the first period. Put it in deep, put the pressure on, get in there and play physical. And that's the game plan they have to stay on right now if they're going to maintain their lead.
And we got plenty of hockey here. 14:36 remaining in the third. Big rebound again by Vandenberg. Just talked about that. And Saskatchewan going to try to get more pucks towards the first-year goaltender. And that puck looped out and down the ice. And yeah, you got to be careful and be disciplined here. You can't be taking senseless penalties in this third period. Wait over here for Peltier. Peltier, he got squeezed out. Up along the board, Stibbings tried to take a shot from off the half wall. Fanned on it. Here's Ben Boyd. He'll loop it out. Comes to McDonald, swing and a miss. And the captain, Kinneberg, he plays it down the line. Jordan has to hold up. He had a mate inside the zone. Saunderson takes a shot, and again, another rebound. I'm wondering about Vandenberg right now. Here's Andrews back the other way. takes his shot. No problems there for Meyer.
Well, the one thing that we're starting to notice now is St. Mary's isn't blocking the shots the way they did in the first two periods. And that's got to be part of their game plan right now. They can't be thinking, okay, we got to get this puck and move it up too quickly. They got to make sure that we've got to control the puck and move it to the outside and do the things that got us to this point in the game.
See Marcus Vandenberg. He was named the best goalie in the Ontario Junior Hockey League last year with Leamington.
Yeah, one of the things we have to keep our eye out for here, Peter, is the stamina at the going into the last 10 minutes of the game here. St. Mary's has been off. Saskatchewan's been playing up until a week ago. We'll see who lasts who throughout the last 13 minutes of this game.
You can practice all you want and have scrimmages against pros, but nothing beats game action every other day.
There's just that intensity that comes with game action and playoff action, and Saskatchewan certainly had that through the Canada West Finals. And they come into tonight's game again. There's a reason they're the #1 seed, and we have to see what they've got left in the tank right now, because they're at a point in the game where they've got to empty the tank to make sure that they're moving forward. And St. Mary's is coming in here rested, but I'll tell you what, they've been playing physical, and that's going to bring their energy level down a little bit, and they've got to sustain this through the last 13 minutes as well if they want to move forward.
Yeah, that'll take the starch out of you a little bit playing that way. The Saskatchewan team, bronze medal winners at the U Cup last year, won a national title back in 1983. Keeler comes back, gets it up to center ice. Here's Roulette trying to get loose. Roulette with a shot. And above the blue, there's Vandenberg, and that's a big save for his confidence.
Well, we've been talking about Vandenberg, and Vandenberg comes up big there. If you take a look, and you got Connor Roulette, who we said should be a factor for the Saskatchewan Huskies. He's got two. He breaks through on that. He gets the shot. He's a guy that's got to keep driving the net, and take as many shots as he can. But Vandenberg came up real big on that one, so that should answer some questions.
Connor Roulette last season played in the East Coast Hockey League with the Tulsa Oilers. 17 goals, 17 assists. Former Dallas Star draft pick. To the point now. Above the circles, Berthelot. His shot got defused by Hopkins, and the puck goes out of play with 12:43 remaining in regulation.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line here today. Again, you know, with the format of the tournament, it's a one-game bump. So the winner goes forward, gets a rest tomorrow, and the loser goes home. I'm just taking a look at that shot clock that was lopsided before, as you say, tilted. And right now it's 24-23 in favor of Saskatchewan. And so far they've had the better of the play in the third period.
And the Saskatchewan team, as I mentioned, they played last year in the University Cup. They've got experience. They know how to handle these big moments. And you take a look at that bench. They seem to be calm, cool, collected. They know what it takes.
And the one thing you have to be careful of now is the hometown crowd going to get behind St. Mary's for the last 12 minutes of this game and propel them through.
Scramble off the draw. St. Mary's, the glass, and down the ice it goes. Race and chase back the other way. Kinneberg gets there. He gets taken out, driven into the boards. Battle for it behind the net. They get granular. This is Ben Boyd. He'll play it up top. There's a shot that goes wide. Dillingham loads up, put it wide on that Trapper's side. Holt to center ice. Pass picked off in the neutral zone. Back the other way. Arnsby shuffles it off. McDonald takes a shot. Meyer with the save. And now Pillar, he'll just slow the pace down just a tad here. This is Kinneberg. Over for his D partner, Kozier. Bobbled the puck for a second, and that might be costly. The lad moves in. A shot, loose puck, as Meyer didn't know where it was. And Saskatchewan, they dodged the bullet there. Here's Vlad. Man, he is so dynamic offensively. Unbelievable skater. Cato turned it over. Pilche, as he tried to go short side.
Let's take a look at that shot coming down by St. Mary's here where the puck hits Meyer up top. It looks like the puck's going to go behind him, but it just bounces out in front. And his defenseman, Kinnenberg, comes back, just ties up his man and allows the puck to drift behind the net. And if you're Saskatchewan, you're looking back, taking a sigh of relief on that one because that would have been a big hill to climb.
Some St. Mary's fans having some adult beverages. Whoa, take it easy. Tilting that Budweiser back, going out of style on that one. 11:20 remaining now in regulation. 3-2 lead for St. Mary's. And yeah, you have to account for Reed Vlad every time he jumps on the ice, number 5 for the Huskies, if you're Saskatchewan.
He's such a dynamic player right now, and he's playing at the top of his game right now. They've had a rest, but he's one of those players that wants to move his team forward in this tournament, and you can see the way he's carried himself throughout the game tonight.
He's had a lot of hop in his step. Off the draw, Saskatchewan with it. That was Roulette. Roulette has been all over it here this evening. Roulette out there with Berthollet, excuse me, and Keeler. There's a shot that goes wide. Trenholm hacks at it, doesn't get it out of the zone. He'll get another opportunity. Played up to center ice and dumped in by Ben Allison. He'll go off on a change. Meyer comes out of the net. Barros. He's been a target here. He takes another hit. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Played across. And what do we got going here? A penalty?
Looks like we got a penalty behind the play at the bench.
It's going to be Chisholm.
Chisholm puts the hit on here. And then he comes back with the pop at the end of it. You know, we were just taking a look at that before, saying it's good it's a physical game, but you can't let the physicality get out of hand and turn into a penalty. Not this late in the game. And most of the goals so far tonight have been scored early or scored late.
Trying to do his best Bud Crawford imitation there. Wrong venue for that. And now St. Mary's, they have to kill off this power play opportunity. Here's Petruik down low into the slot. Holmes was right there. Petruik gets it back again. Up top, Kozier. Roulette. Petruik. Little slap pass over for Kozier as he moved down low. Played back up top again. Roulette. Kozier. Roulette again, top of the left circle. That shot is blocked by Arnsby. St. Mary's can't get a clear. Chance Petruik. Leaves it there for Kozier. Down low. Keeler in front. And again, St. Mary's can't get that puck out. Petruik. Holt sends it. That got blocked again. 1:08 remaining in the power play. That shot to the net. Friendly fire went off for Keeler. Oh, Arnsby hacking some wood there as he took a shot at the Saskatchewan player with the stick, and again, not out of the zone. Chance Petruik to the net. That's blocked by DeFonseca. Down low, Saskatchewan being very patient here. Petruik. Kozier changes the angle. Nice save by Vandenberg, and he's got it in the trapper. St. Mary's getting it done on the PK.
Oh, look at the way they're set up in this one. They know they're going to move the puck up to the top, so they move into the diamond and take away the two shooters on both sides. Just a great job by St. Mary's here on their PK. And you know, when a team like Saskatchewan gets another power play, it's just an opportunity waiting to happen for them. They've been shut out so far on their power play. Then they get into the last one. They find a way to move the puck down low. Connor Roulette comes down and scores that goal. And now what we've got is a game in the third period where there was a 1-goal differential, and Saskatchewan starting to find their offensive momentum.
Yeah, they're looking very confident out there. I mean, what a juxtaposition from what we saw in the first period and partway through the second period, Kevin.
Yeah, and now they're leading on the shot clock again, and that just means that they've come out in the third period saying, hey, pucks on net, pucks on net, pucks on net. You can't score unless you shoot.
And now Vandenberg has gone to the bench.
Good move on Vandenberg's part.
Yeah, that's an experienced move. Hey, just slow it down a bit here.
Little bit of maintenance on the equipment at this time to give the penalty killers a bit of a rest here.
And just glide back to the crease.
Veteran move, they say.
That's like the first game that we had here. Clay Hannes just, moving the arms back for the icing. And wasn't moving the feet, though.
Legs were standing still.
Down low, once again, into the slot. Peltier was right there. That's under a St. Mary's player. 21 seconds now remaining in the power play for Saskatchewan. It comes out of the zone finally for St. Mary's. Barros, he'll leave it there. And now trying to blaze a trail down this left wing. Pillar, Bertholet with a shot that was well wide, and that launched up and went out of play. And now we're back to five-a-side hockey. Okay, getting down to the nitty-gritty in this one. St. Mary's in front, 3-2. Back with more here in Halifax.
So when it comes to the University Cup, we have no rookies behind the bench this year. Every coach has played at least one tournament in their career, but believe it or not, that does not equal out to a lot of wins. Coming into this tournament, they have a combined record of 11-17. 8 of those wins coming courtesy of Marc-Étienne Hubert. 5 coaches were actually looking for their first University Cup win, including the man behind St. Mary's bench today.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's a tough profession, isn't it, Kevin?
It is. It is. There's a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of planning.
Here's Ruperti now. Navigates in over the line, and that's offside, as that was Vlad. He got a little too eager. Let's take a look at the goals, and they came very quickly.
Yeah, we had Reed Vlad in the first period at 19:07. And then we come out in the second period, we got Ben Allison at 37 seconds. Then Jake Uberti at 15:17. Connor Roulette at 15:51. And Connor Roulette again at 15 seconds. So you want to get here early, and you don't want to leave to go to the concessions until the period is over. There's end-to-end action, a lot of intensity, and a lot of time left for a lot of things to happen out there.
Quick strikes for both teams in this contest. Here's Ritchie. He'll send it around hard. Kinneberg is there. He takes a hit from Uberti. And now, here comes that big unit for Saskatchewan. Bertholet, nice move. Oh, as he dances, man. Bertholet in front as he was looking for Keeler. And this line, Bertholet, Keeler, and Roulette, they have been nonstop. Bertholet from the corner, plays it up top. There's a shot that goes wide. Jordan sends it down to the corner. Hopkins there. He's in a board battle Plays it dangerously in the slot, but got it to Vlad. Vlad gets on his horse here. Vlad trying to go 1v1 with Saunderson. Saunderson played that textbook. Here's Ouellette. And now Dillingham. He'll take his time. Saskatchewan, they want to make a change here. 7:20 now left in regulation. Sled Dogs from Halifax with a 1-goal lead over the Sled Dogs from Saskatchewan. Puck dumped in. Gentile, fast and furious, below the goal line, couldn't get there. Truick, his pass no good, tapped that though. And now Gentile down the far side, trying to get some good ice. Gentile took a shot from around the goal line. Meyer was right there to seal it off. And now here's Chance Petruic. He'll lob that puck in, wants to dump and chase. Ritchie off the boards. And now here's a partial 2-on-1. Chisholm going to the net. Puck didn't get to him, but he jumped on it below the goal line. Hacked at by Pillar. He takes a hit. And we got a penalty coming up. And Josh Pillar got a little too aggressive there, and it's going to cost Saskatchewan.
So here we have the play coming up on the boards. Josh Pillar's in there, moves the puck, gets the hand up, and then takes Chisholm down. Late in the game like this, after Saskatchewan's had sustained pressure and a number of scoring opportunities, that's not something he planned to do when he got in there. He just got caught up and the emotions got the better of him. He just followed through, and that's what happened.
Look at the smirk on the face of Chisholm there. So 6:19 remaining, and a glorious opportunity for St. Mary's.
Well, if you're St. Mary's here, you may want to take a penalty because the goals have been scored 4-on-4 and 5-on-5. There's been no power play goals.
Chisholm to take the draw. He wins it. It comes back now for Hopkins. Allison back for Hopkins. Over here for Gentile. Takes his shot. That got blocked by the Saskatchewan captain, Kinneberg. A tower of strength on that back end for Saskatchewan. Here's Allison. Loads up. Loose puck in front. And St. Mary's, they couldn't get a handle on it. Hopkins to center, the bump back. Gentile in over the line. This is Chisholm. Plays it back to the point. Hopkins. A shot that got tipped. Chisholm got a stick on that. Gentile near side corner. Plays it up top now for Hopkins. Over here for Allison. A little touch pass. Hopkins to the net. That got blocked by Barros. And Saskatchewan, they'll drift it down the ice. Vandenberg, he comes to play it.
A little bit of a tie-up there behind the net.
57 seconds now remaining in the power play for St. Mary's. Here's Vlad. Drops it back. Uberti sends it. Ritchie. He'll deal it off to De Fonseca. Here's Ritchie. Moves in above the circles. That pass out of the reach of De Fonseca and sent down with 36 seconds remaining in the man advantage here for St. Mary's. Shots on net 28-26 in favor of Saskatchewan. De Fonseca, he couldn't get through that snow fence, and that's going to be called offside at the Saskatchewan line. 19 seconds left in the power play.
St. Mary's has done a really good job getting the puck in the zone and keeping control, and Saskatchewan's done a good job of keeping the outside, not letting them penetrate. But at this point in time in the game with the score 3-2, St. Mary's is happy to let that clock run down by 2 minutes, and Saskatchewan saying, hey, let's not give up anything, but if we can break down the middle and get a puck in behind and create a breakaway, we may just have that opportunity to our benefit right now.
Down the stretch now in this second quarter final. 4:38 remaining. Face off from the neutral zone. Still some time on this power play. 15 seconds remaining. Enough time for St. Mary's to get it into the O zone and try to create something. Uberti, he'll send it in. Meyer comes out of the net. Here you see Vandenberg, or at least you hear Vandenberg tapping that goalie stick on the ice. Penalty is over, and we're back to even streak. Here's Pillar. Pillar now with speed. Can't get the shot off. Trying to make amends for that bad penalty that he took. And now Uberti, that puck bounced away from him. Jordan centers it out in front, sealed off by Holmes. Kinneberg, good hustle to keep it in on that right point. Trenholm, he'll play it around. Nolan Dillingham slaps that one up the ice. It went off of Jordan, and it goes out of play, and we get a stoppage here. Brandon Cote, what's rolling around in his mind right now?
Well, he's taking a look now and saying, okay, we got to shorten the bench. We got to get out there. We got to get a face-off in their zone deep. And then I've got to know what's the right time, take my time out, get my goaltender out of the net, and try and tie this game up. They're going to try and get a goal in the next minute and 42 before they get to that 2-minute, I think, before they make that goaltending move.
The face-off now. Puck dumped in by McDonald. Kinneberg under pressure. Does a great job, and he just sidestepped a check right there from the St. Mary's forward on the forecheck. As that was Arnsby. Arnsby, boy, if you're a Saskatchewan defenseman, your head has got to be up all the time, and you have to account for number 61. And Tyler Nogler looking sharp in that nice suit there, and he's got a look of concern on his face. His team up by a goal, looked like they were going to run away with it, but Saskatchewan, boy, full value for the comeback in this one, down by just one. There's a shot from off the faceoff. Saunderson, he chops at it, gets it down low. Saunderson again. Off the end boards. Dillingham able to track it down. Off the backhand down the ice, and that will bounce all the way for icing, and we got a player down. That's Pillar. And there's going to be a St. Mary's penalty here. So Pillar was undisciplined. He took a penalty, and now the veteran Nolan Dillingham, he's going to go off.
And that was way behind the play as the puck was sent down the ice at icing, and they were on their way to make a line change. That's a tough one to take, and he knows that right now at this point in the game, in a 3-2 game.
And that gum is getting chewed a little bit faster and harder by Tyler Nogler.
Well, his mind's gone from managing the bench to get the best guys out there in the right situations to having to change and say, okay, we've now got to manage to kill this penalty and then get to that point.
You like this timeout by Coach Cote?
I think it's a perfect timeout right now. He's going to rest his best guys right now.
Yeah.
Get them out there for... He'll have his best line out there for at least a minute if they can keep the sustained pressure. And right now what you're going to see is St. Mary trying to get that puck out through the outside again and again going back into the diamond.
Here are the brackets. Big upset there. Windsor over Mount Royal. They move on to the semifinals. We'll figure things out here in maybe 2 minutes and 56 seconds. So Windsor could play either one of these teams. Right now it's St. Mary's. And then tomorrow, 2 more great games here at the University Cup. And this Saskatchewan team in the postseason, 5 for 22 on the power play, over 22% in the regular season. 26.4%. They were 5th in Can West, 26.4%, and you were 5th. That means that there were a lot of great power plays in Can West hockey. St. Mary's, they win the draw, comes around the boards. DeFonseca couldn't get there. Arnsby is there and just gets it out. Cozier drops it back. This is Keeler. Keeler's had a strong game here. Roulette dumps it down to the corner. Whoa! Little Paul Bunyan action in the corner right there, as that was Hopkins, as he was chopping at some birch there with an axe, it looked like.
Got to be very careful right now.
Holt plays it off to the wing. Hard around it goes. Played back to the point. Cozier. Petruic sends it to the net. They score!
We've got a game.
Keeler. Backdoor tap in. It's 3-3.
And what you saw was Brandon Cote got his best players out there. Got the #1 power play. You got guys like Connor Roulette out there. You got Kessler out there. Great job at the point, moving the puck to the outside. Little traffic at the net. It looks like Keller may have tipped that pass in, coming out of the corner. There we go. We got our defenseman here. Hopkins doesn't tie him up. He's got him in behind. He's got a lock on him, but doesn't take that stick away. And at this point in the game, that's what you got to be focused on, making sure that stick can't make contact with the puck. Now we've got a new game with 2 minutes to go.
Liam Keeler, 111 career games with Saskatchewan, regular season and playoffs, and he will not score a bigger goal than that one. A goal and an assist heading into this one in the postseason for number 10 for Saskatchewan. And we're tied at 3 apiece. Puck sent in. Dillingham, he takes a hit. Round the boards, try to defend Seca. He'll take his time, plays to the center ice. Whoa. Berte and Gentile almost collided in the neutral zone. A little malfunction at the junction there, and that's going to be an icing call against St. Mary's. So we'll play a full 20-minute 5-on-5. This goes to overtime here. They'll have a flood if it does go to overtime, and then they'll come back out.
And then they'll play 3-on-3 if they get past that. And
right.
Then they'll go to a shootout following that.
I was hoping to do 5 or 6 overtime periods, Kevin. I don't know about you.
I was just hoping it wasn't in the earlier game that delayed the late game.
There's a shot. Vandenberg with the save. As a nice chance there for Dawson Holt. This almost looks like a power play. The shot goes wide. 1:06 now remaining. And St. Mary's, they get it out of harm's way. Puck on the stick of Ben Allison. He'll dump it down in the corner. Allison there. Saunderson, he couldn't get along the boards. There's the shot. That went off a stick. Dawson Holt, second-year medical student at Saskatchewan, gets it out of the zone. Pillar couldn't get it deep. 39 seconds now remaining. This is Roulette. He tries to spin on the half wall. Gets closed down by a couple of St. Mary's players. Puck to the point. Sent right back in. It's not overtime, but we're basically in overtime. Up to Gentile. He's by his lonesome. Lone Ranger rush here. He'll dump it down into the corner. 15 seconds now remaining. Kinneberg, the captain, he'll just take his time here.
He's content to burn the clock right now and get it into overtime.
And that's where we're going, folks. Yes. A little overtime coming up here. Let's take a look at the goal that tied this game up at 17:50. Liam Keeler.
Great job by the defenseman to move the puck down to the far side on the right-hand side. And then Keeler drives the back of the net. And the defenseman doesn't tie up the stick, as I mentioned earlier.
Stepping away, we've got overtime coming up, folks. Stick around. 3-3, Saskatchewan and St. Mary's here at the University Cup.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète. Née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble. Avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey. Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
du Nord-Ouest, le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est icitout.tv.
Beginning a program at university is an incredibly optimistic moment. Anything is possible. This is the time to enjoy learning, to enjoy figuring it all out, to learn things you never knew, and become someone you didn't think possible, beyond the expected, beyond your wildest dreams. Grow beyond.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Hey, U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
U Sports on CBC, presented by l'U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Steel Mazda.
Red hot here in Halifax, and there you see the score, 3-3 as we head to overtime. And a key figure in the overtime period will be Saskatchewan goalie Nolan Meyer. Let's spend some time with the puck stopper.
Hi, my name is Nolan Meyer, goaltender of University of Saskatchewan. I'm in my first year of Arts and Science. I'm from Yorkton, Saskatchewan. My dad, I think just growing up in Saskatchewan, I was always out on the rinks and learned to skate from my dad. He played a little bit of professional hockey, so I was able to pick a few tricks up from him. I think what initially drew me to the position was just the gear. I think everything about it, just really wanted to do it, and then I've just kind of fell in love with it ever since. I would say I'm very athletic. I like to read the play. I rely on my skating a lot. I'm not the biggest guy in goalie standards, so I like to skate and use my feet as much as I can. I think just our buy-in from our team. I think once we knew playoffs was kind of started, we just kind of flipped the switch and played a certain way, and we were able to come out with some good chances, and just that led to everybody's success. I think just the competition. Everyone grows up playing high-level hockey here, so being able to play the best on the best is always what you want to strive for. So to be able to do that in such a special city is pretty exciting. No, I haven't really planned it out. I know lots of the guys in the room and myself, lots of family and friends are coming down just to experience the whole University Cup. So it's very exciting for everyone. Yeah, it's hard. This is my first year, my first semester actually. So it's been a big change. It's hard, it's difficult, but I think just being on top of your studies and just on top of everything, but with the help of everyone around you, it goes a long way. So it's definitely not easy, but it's rewarding.
Partout au Canada, c'est une histoire qui se répète, née d'un amour pour un sport qui nous rassemble. Des patinoires du coin à la scène mondiale, nous avançons ensemble. Avec chaque foulée, chaque arrêt et chaque rêve qui habite toute fille qui choisit le hockey. Parce que tous ces coups de patin nous propulsent. 1, 2, 3, Canada! Ensemble, vers l'avant.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
This isn't about just showing up. It's about what you're willing to give. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. The work that matters, it happens long before anyone's watching. But it's never done alone. And when it gets hard, this team's behind you. Because the biggest victories, they're the ones that we earn together.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
There are those among us who never run away from problems. Instead, they run to them. When we never settle for the world that's been built, that's when we drive it forward towards something better. Better outcomes for clients and better futures for our communities. At Cushman & Wakefield, we believe better never settles.
Sports on CBC, presented by Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, APAR, and by Steel Mazda.
Welcome back to Halifax, and we got a spicy one on our hands here. 3-3 after regulation as we head towards overtime, and here are the stats after 60 minutes of play.
Let's take a look again at those blocked shots. You got St. Mary's blocking 17 shots tonight, and that's been a difference maker for St. Mary's and why they're in the game tonight. You know, you take a look at the shot clock, it's now 30-26. Saskatchewan definitely came on in that third period. St. Mary's got a little undisciplined, took some untimely penalties, and we gave the opportunity there at the end of the third period to come back.
Let's take a look at all 6 goals in this game, and we start off with this neat little pass. Guberti gets it to Vlad, and that was a slick goal, and that got the crowd going here at Scotiabank Centre. And then St. Mary's, they keep bringing it here, as that was
by Ben Allison.
Yeah, he tipped that one home.
And then we got Jake Guberti with the little toe drag, and then the shot to the far side underneath. That took about a minute and a half of watching the video to see if it went in or not.
And then Saskatchewan, they got a lucky break right there, and Roulette comes in, and they needed that one, Kevin.
Well, Connor Roulette's a guy we knew could put the puck in the net, and he certainly did a great job of it on that one. Then he comes down again at the start of the third period and puts the puck in the back of the net.
And look at this backdoor tap in for Keeler.
The goal, that goal by Liam Keeler was textbook.
Yes, nice looking goal, and we've got overtime when we return right here on CBC Gem. Stick around, folks, going to be nice.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe no matter where you're from, you've got this.
This isn't about just showing up. It's about what you're willing to give. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. The work that matters, it happens long before anyone's watching. But it's never done alone. And when it gets hard, this team's behind you. Because the biggest victories, they're the ones that we earn together.
That's embarrassing. You know it's not embarrassing? Using FIG for a home improvement loan.
A quick, simple, and transparent offer in minutes. Borrow better with FIG.
Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Nice look at the harbor here in Halifax, 3-3 St. Mary's and Saskatchewan as we head to overtime. I think we should explain the overtime situation right now because this is going to be 20 minutes, sudden death. Nothing is solved there. They'll have a little stoppage and then it'll be 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and if it doesn't come to an end there, we'll have a 5-man shootout. So buckle up, it's getting exciting.
And if this period's any indication, we've got to take a look at the start of the second period and the start of the third period. Saskatchewan came out of the dressing room at the start of the second period and got a goal 37 seconds in from Ben Allison. And then to start the third, they got the goal 15 seconds in from Connor Roulette.
So we'll see if there's going to be a quick strike. No icing here. We've got the line of Berthollet, Keeler, and Roulette out there. They've accounted for 5 points in this game. Here's Keeler over the line. He put that one over top of the cage. Puck comes out to center ice. Ben Allison trying to get inside position, surrounded by Saskatchewan Huskies. A pass that hopped away from Berthollet. Sent down. No icing again. Down low, Keeler. Tried to get it to Berthollet. There's a shot. DeFonseca went off a skate. And now Roulette, he'll make an adjustment. Plays it just outside of the O-zone to Berthollet. Here's an opportunity now. Vlad moves in! A save by Meyer! Vlad with the game on his stick. And Nolan Meyer says, not tonight.
What a heads-up play by Vlad. Saskatchewan makes a dump in the middle, just a little chip out to keep the puck out, and it ends up going into the neutral zone, and Vlad picks the puck up. No better guy than you want driving down in an overtime game on the opposing goaler than Vlad. And we've had some opportunities where we looked out there and saw the puck bouncing because of the ice, but right now on a fresh sheet like that, that's what you want as a goal scorer going down on the goaltender.
Face off to the left of Meyer, who came up with a 10-bell save there. Played across. Barros. I tip my hat to number 7 for Saskatchewan because he's been the target of a lot of big hits. Quick up for DeFonseca on his horse. They wave the icing off. Charlie DeFonseca, he takes a hit from Pillar. Uberte hasn't played a game since early October. Ritchie, he'll spin it down low. Goes far side. Back to DeFonseca. He can't hold it in. Back on the puck again, and he'll dump it near side corner. Barros sends that down. Holt gets there, no icing. Dawson Holt gets a rough ride from Hopkins. St. Mary's, they want to head north. Arnsby gets it down in the corner. There's Ben Boyd. He's got a man out in front. That's Chisholm. Couldn't get him the puck. Chisholm with a big hit on Saunderson. And now Jacob Holmes. Hard around it comes. Boyd over here for Chisholm. He shrugs off Peltier. As we approach the 3-minute mark of this overtime. There's the shot that's blocked. Another shot that goes wide. Chisholm from basically around the goal line just sent it. And Meyer with the save.
St. Mary's comes away at the end of that shift knowing that they've just had an opportunity. And I know what the message is. The message is no shot's a bad shot. And they come away with 3 scoring opportunities here off 1 drive. And right now in a game like this, any shot at the net that can create a rebound is going to create an opportunity to end this game. So teams are going to be shooting the puck from everywhere.
Allison, Gentile, and McDonald out there up front for St. Mary's. Comes back to Dillingham. Lets his shot go. Easy pickings for Meyer.
He saw that puck coming all the way.
Oh, yeah.
one of the things you got to do this late in the game or this early in the period as it is late in the game in overtime, that puck has to come low and the goalie can't see it. You've got to try and create some kind of secondary scoring opportunities here. And right now, St. Mary's has had the advantage in the faceoffs, and they're going to do everything they can to keep that puck in. And even if it's frozen, they know they can come back with a scoring opportunity off the draw.
44-27 in favor of St. Mary's in that faceoff category. Got Ben Allison to take the draw here against Keeler. Ben Allison came to U Sports Hockey, a finesse player, then brought some sandpaper to his game, a complete player for this St. Mary's team. To the point, there's a shot. That went off of Keeler. He got in the shooting lane. That took a chunk out of him. Centered out in front. Allison was right there. Couldn't get a stick on it, as that was Gentile that put it into a dangerous area. Saskatchewan making a change. Keeler's got to go off and walk that off. That block shot that really stung him, and he's struggling at that Saskatchewan bench right now. Here's Barros. Plays it up the middle. Berthollet, he's got speed. Berthollet with the shot. Vandenberg with the save. Another opportunity. Vandenberg had to come up gigantor there. The reverse up to Berthollet. He stays out there. You don't have to beg Berthollet to move his feet. They're constantly moving. Fonseca is there. Gets away from one man. Getting granular down low. St. Mary's, they've got it again. They'll play it to the point. Hopkins with the shot. That puck loose in the slot. And now Saskatchewan trying to get loose here. Sorensen cuts to the middle of the ice. Still has that puck. Tkachuk in there. Loses that board battle. Comes around for Ben Boyd. Boyd can't get it out. Then they tap it off the glass. Saunderson moves up. He gets hit, as that was Ben Boyd. Number 17 for St. Mary's. He's got a little bit of junkyard dog in him. Coming up from behind the net. That's Hopkins. That puck came out of the zone. St. Mary's, they've got to tag up. You got Ben Boyd, Arnsby, and Chisholm out there. They're the hitting crew for the St. Mary's team. Saskatchewan, they bring it back in over the line. This is Barros to the point. There's a shot there by Holt, filling in on the blue line. Arnsby getting physical. The door came open on the Saskatchewan bench from the force of that hit. And play whistle down. 15:01 remaining here in overtime. And the hits keep on coming. It's like the hit parade.
Well, you take a look at the play here when Boyd steps up in the neutral zone. He's at the start of his shift. He's catching a Saskatchewan player at the end of his shift. And he makes puck separation so that St. Mary's picks up the puck and is able to clear their zone pretty easily.
Another big face-off. Keeler seems to be okay. He's up there to take this draw. Coach Cote, he's got the big trio out there once again. Kinneberg. No icing again. Played down the line. And they're saying no icing again. I think these officials, they got dinner planned somewhere. Ritchie off the boards. Allison to the net, as Gentile couldn't make the adjustment. Now back the other way. Here's Roulette. He's got Berthollet with him. Roulette, nice inside position by Roulette, and he put that one wide. Allison wants to rev it up. Game opening up a bit. There's a shot. That's blocked. Gentile fanned on that attempt. And now Saunderson taps at it. This is Roulette coming off the left wing. He'll peel in the corner. Saskatchewan making a change. Saunderson. Barros. He'll funnel it down into the corner. Here's Barros again on the half wall. Takes his shot. No problems there for Vandenberg as he squeezes it.
Well, neither team's backing down here in overtime. We're playing all-out offense here. And we just had the play where Saskatchewan goes down. Connor Roulette drags the puck back, then pulls it in on the defenseman and gets the shot off. That's what you got to do at this start of overtime. You got to create those opportunities for yourself and put that puck on the net as much as you can.
Face off now in St. Mary's territory. Here's Barros trying to change the angle. A shot that goes off a skate. The Fonseca chips it off the wall. This is Vlad. He's looking for reinforcements. Guberte right down Main Street. And it's stopped by Meyer again. Meyer has just been on it.
Well, what a great play by Reed Valente. He takes the puck from Chisholm, moves down the side, waits, sees this man coming and puts the feed right in the slot. And he's got a guy driving the back door. If that could be a rebound off a low shot, that game might have ended right there on that one heads-up play by Reed Vlad.
Face off to the right of Meyer. Played over here now for a Pillar. Headmans that puck. Petruik went off his stick. Slung right back in to Saskatchewan territory. Another big hit. That's Uberti as he went after, guess who? Barros. Barros is wincing once again, but he stays out there. Barros sends it down the ice, and that's going to be icing. And boy, Logan Barros, he's gutting it out. He's staying out there. Well, he has to stay out there. It was an icing.
Yeah,
he has no other choice. Just a reminder, tomorrow at noon Eastern, battle of the French-Canadian teams, University of Moncton Aigle Bleu and the UQTR Patriots. That will be a good game. Both those teams, they've got an offensive pedigree. And we'll have that one for you at 12 noon Eastern.
I think Barros took a heavy hit there, and it's taking a toll on his body right now. I think he's trying to find a way to get to the bench.
Face-off won by St. Mary's. There's a shot. It got blocked. Here's Chance Petruik on a breakaway. Petruik could end the game. Oh, save there by Vandenberg, and a second save. Gentile now in over the line. Things are heating up here in Halifax, folks. Pillar. He gets pushed off the puck. Gentile tried to center it. Both teams with grade A scoring opportunities in this overtime. And nobody can end it. 12:37 remaining in sudden death. Allison gets knocked down. Sorensen lost his balance, and that put his teammate offside.
Take a look at this. When the puck squirts out of the blue line, and we've got Petruik going down ice, and Nolan Meyer steps up and shuts him down, but the rebound goes right back to Petruik, and Meyer has to get back into position to make that second save. That's just great. Sorry, Vanderbilt. That's just perfect positioning by the goalie and great reaction.
Ozone face-off here now. St. Mary's with possession. Trenholm, he'll deflect the puck in. Jordan in a battle. Saunderson comes over to help out his D-man. And flipped out of the zone. Deflected in, jumping on that puck. St. Mary's. There's Chisholm. He tried to load it up. Didn't get to the net. Another centering attempt. That was Hopkins that moved up. That's sent to the net again. Little traffic out in front as Connor Trenholm got tangled up with Meyer. Oh, a turnover. Vlad jumps on it. There's a shot attempt that got fanned on. Easy block for Jordan. And out to the neutral zone. And yeah, turnovers at this point, my goodness. Got to be really good with the puck management. Saunderson, he'll take his time here as Saskatchewan making a change. Fans don't like it here at Scotiabank Centre. Berthollet turned it over. De Fonseca dumped it in. Outlet pass. Nice move right there by Roulette. Roulette still has it on his tape here. Spins, lets the shot go loose. Puck out in front, as that was Keeler, and he couldn't settle it down. Puck gets deflected out. And now Kosar plays it. And that's broken up by St. Mary's. Ben Allison. Allison, kick save as Meyer got that right pad out. Allison tried to keep it in, and they're going to call it for a high stick. Let's take a look at these breakaways in overtime, Kevin.
Well, here we are in overtime. We got a little bit of pond hockey going on. We've had 2 breakaways. We haven't had more than 1 in the tournament so far, and we've got 2 in the overtime period. Just quick reaction here by St. Mary's at one end and then Saskatchewan at the other. Petruic comes down, takes a great shot. Vanderberg gets in there, makes a great save, and then comes up big again on the rebound.
You couldn't ask for 2 better players to be on those breakaway opportunities in Petruic and Vlad.
Well, those are the guys you want with the puck in these situations.
Saskatchewan in possession. Look at Barros. I'd give him the first, second, and third star of this game, regardless of what happens here, for the way he's been able to hang on after taking those big hits. Stibbing's in the corner looking for number 15. Play back. Jordan with a shot. That got blocked at the blue line by Arnsby. He's got to be careful. He took a swing at Cole Jordan. Long stretch pass deflected in by Renier. Pelche tried to lift the stick. Couldn't get to it. Played into the slot. Now down low. Petruic, he tried to feed the point and played it out of the zone. Kosar. Off the stick of Holt. Holt follows up on the play. Nudges it down in the corner. Holt in front. A chance there for Chance Petruic. A grade A scoring opportunity for Saskatchewan. Back the other way now. There's a shot. That goes high. And now back out to center ice. Holmes goes D to D. Wow. Kevin, what a great look for Chance Petruic.
You know, Chance Petruic's got to be asking himself, what do I got to do?
That's sent down the ice, and this will be an icing. Ozone face-off for St. Mary's. And let's take a look at this chance. We've had a boatload of chances here in this overtime.
Well, you got Chance Petruic picking up the puck here off a pass out from behind the net. He's got the open net, got the opportunity in the slot, and he takes it and it just sails wide up off the top of the goalie. But I'll tell you what, in overtime, neither team is letting up.
No.
And they're both playing wide open hockey right now.
Dillingham off the boards, out of the zone. Here's Vlad now. Vlad tried to take a shot. That puck is loose in the slot. Roulette just plays it to the board. Smart move by 14. Drops it back. Barros goes cross ice, picked off. Barros, can he get away from the forecheck here? He gets knocked down. And now this is Roulette. He tried to get around his man and couldn't. Chipped off the boards, out of the zone. Cole Jordan, he goes rink wide. Roulette, too hot to handle. Ritchie. Ethan Ritchie makes it to center ice, and he'll dump it in. Played around. Swing and a miss right there by Dillingham. He had to get back, and boy, he got fortunate there. Roulette, he was off to the Kentucky Derby if he got that one on a stick. Gentile down the right wing. Good job by Hayes to defend that one, get back on the back check. Tkachuk in a battle there. And you got to wonder when those concrete legs start setting in for both these teams.
There's a little bit of wobbling going on as they're moving up the ice right now. But what you're also starting to see is the same names coming back shift after shift as both coaches reduce their benches right now.
Might have to get that pickle juice out. Here's Renier. Renier from a sharp angle. Good stick by Ritchie. Off the glass and out. Kenneberg takes a hit by the bowling ball. That's Arnsby. Ritchie off the glass. Nothing fancy here now for both teams. Having said that, here's Berthe, and they're going to call that offside at the Saskatchewan line. And the fans here at Scotiabank Centre, they're not happy. And my producer, Eddie Milliken, is saying that wasn't offside.
Yeah, I'd like to have another look. Here we go. Let's have a look at this one.
So that's Uberti with the puck. And
real close where that puck was. Real close from that angle.
Yeah.
There we go. You see his front foot, his back foot came in. Looked like his back foot might have come in before the puck did.
Chance Petruik on the forecheck, strips the puck away from his man. Here's a chance for Pillar. And nice save by Vandenberg. And you know, in that second period, Vandenberg, it looked like he lost his confidence a little bit. There were big rebounds. He's settled in here now again.
Yeah, he's playing really solid hockey right now. He's in great position, makes that first save, able to recover and get back into good position for the secondary shot coming. And that's what you need from your goaltending right now. You need their best game at this time of the game.
Face off to the right of Vandenberg. Tranholm can't win it. Saunderson, he wanted to let that back scratcher go and got tangled up almost with another Saskatchewan player. Here's Barros. His shot, that gets blocked. Gentile. Center ice and in. Nothing fancy, as I mentioned. Allison looking for the puck along the board. Stays with it. Allison trying to maneuver there. Surrounded by Saskatchewan Huskies. Hopkins took a stab at it. That puck went airborne. Sent down. And there you see Gentile. He tried to give it that extra little oomph. And couldn't get the legs moving. Hiller. And now this is Saunderson. Center ice. Whoa! Arnsby again as he went right through Saunderson. This one has been a physical game. It's a good thing they have tomorrow off.
Well, I think the player of the game today should get an ice bag.
Puck sent in. Berthelot tried to spin on his man. Back for Kozer. Cole Jordan, he's done yeoman service number 2 along the blue line for Saskatchewan. Roulette. He'll just play it. He tried to go off the glass and got too much air underneath that one, and it goes out of play. 5:04 remaining here in this 20-minute overtime.
You know, Peter, neither team giving an inch right now.
Yeah.
Both playing their game plan the way they came out. Saskatchewan's trying to get pucks deep, get pucks on net. And St. Mary's is saying, hey, if it moves, we're going to hit it and try and create an opportunity off the hit.
Hit first, ask questions much later. Another key face-off. This one coming to the left of Vandenberg and Keeler. Got to get a new stick. And Keeler, 18 regular season points. And tonight, boy, he's just been amazing. A goal and an assist. Off the boards, up the center ice. De Fonseca. He'll backtrack inside his own zone. Here's Jacob Holmes. Hammers that puck around the boards, goes off a skate. Barros is there. Dillingham tried to filter it in the corner. Keeler over for Berthelot. Passes behind Keeler. And now back the other way. Here's Vlad. Vlad takes his shot. Kinneberg got in front of that one. 4:27 now remaining in this first overtime period. If it's still tied, they'll go to 3-on-3 hockey. This is Ritchie. Gentile behind the net in the Gretzky office. Got to get somebody out in front. Oh, that puck came to Ritchie, and it got deflected. Over for Ben Allison. He's got a little bit of room to roam on that right side. Drops it back for Derek Gentile to the net. Hovering in front, you had Ben Boyd. Allison. In front of them. They score! Ethan Ritchie has ended this one in overtime. And the St. Mary's Huskies going on to the semifinals.
Well, what a play by Boyd in the corner. He's been a physical presence, but an intelligent presence all night tonight.
And folks, this one is done like dinner. And St. Mary's, their season continues. Things were getting kind of wobbly there. They were coming off the rails for St. Mary's. They hung tough, and they're moving on.
They hung tough, and they were relentless on the puck. Even though they were tired, they were relentless. And with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go, they punched their ticket to the semifinal. Coming in as the 8th seed, that's the third time these two teams have played, and the third time St. Mary's has had the advantage and walked away with the win. Here we have a great play down in the corner. We get it over to Boyd. Boyd looks, got a guy driving to the middle, and Ritchie just reaches in behind the defenseman. He's standing on the north side of him, reaches in and is able to tip that puck into the net.
Nice look from ice level right there.
I don't think there's much that Meyer could have done on that play. Nolan Meyer's had a great game tonight, and goals like that are just goals of opportunity and hard work, and there's not much a goaltender could have done in that situation.
Ethan Ritchie with a big goal, and I'm sure he'll have a conversation tonight with his brother Callum, who's a New York Islander rookie. And boy, what a game here. What 2 games that we saw here today. Unbelievable hockey.
Well, you know, with St. Mary's moving forward, it looks like the city of Halifax may be in a position right now to open up and start a new record for attendance here at the University Cup. They had great attendance here on a Thursday night. Now they'll be playing on Saturday.
Yeah, people got to come out here because they're missing out if you're not watching this hockey. This is excellent hockey, and we saw 2 outstanding games here today.
And we've seen not only great hockey, but great effort by these kids today. And, you know, you take a look at Saskatchewan with the season they've had. I know they're disappointed, but when you go to 3 minutes and 45 seconds in overtime, you've left it all on the ice, and there's not much more you could have done tonight.
So 2 big dogs are out of the pound here now because you've got MRU, they lost to Windsor, and Saskatchewan, the number 1 seed, they're out. So it's up for grabs here now.
It's open right now, and the team that works the hardest and works right till the end of the game right now, the way things look, is the team that's going to move forward into Sunday's final.
So we're going to await our players of the game. And just a reminder, 2 outstanding games that will take place tomorrow as you've got the Battle of French Canada, Trois-Rivières taking on Moncton. And then the gold standard in U Sports hockey, I guess one could say, UMB, there you see the brackets, they'll take on Queens. So those are the 2 games that we'll see tomorrow, and Windsor and St. Mary's in that first semifinal. That's going to be an interesting matchup.
And both games today finished with the same score of 4-3. And the first game went down to the wire with Windsor and Mount Royal. And this game went in overtime. So talk about getting down to the wire.
So there you see it. Interesting day that will take place tomorrow. And there's the St. Mary's team. They started the season off 6-0 AUS play. Looked like they were going to run the gauntlet maybe. Then a whole bunch of injuries. They went at least a couple of months where Tyler Nogler, as you see him right there, he had lineups that saw him with 9 forwards, 4 defensemen, sometimes 9 forwards, 5 defensemen. I remember one night they came into Charlottetown, and boy, there was so much room on that bench. You could have put a big screen TV, a couch, and a washer and dryer on there and still had room. And somehow they gutted through that, and here they are. One win away from getting to the final on Sunday afternoon.
You know, you got to be wondering what Tyler Nogler was thinking when he had the 3-2 lead.
Yes.
You know, you looked over at the bench, and as you said, he started chewing that gum a little faster when it was 3-3. I think he's still got that same gum in there right now, the way he's chewing.
No surprise here. Player of the game for Saskatchewan, Connor Roulette. 2 massive goals for Saskatchewan.
St. Mary's is numero 74, Ethan Ritchie, number 74.
Ethan Ritchie, big overtime winner. He read that play very well, didn't he, Kevin? Coming down off the point.
Well, he saw Boyd standing in the corner, and when the puck transitioned behind the net, he had 2 options. I could stay in the slot or I could start driving. There was no pressure on Boyd, so he decided, I'm going hard to the front of the net. I've got my stick down. I get in behind the defenseman, and that was the difference maker, and that's why they're moving forward.
Probably one of the biggest goals in his hockey career. Played a little bit in the East Coast League and the American League, and he scores a big goal for the St. Mary's Huskies. And there you see the dejection there for Saskatchewan. Let's go now to Rob Pizzo. He's with the hero of the night, Ethan Ritchie.
Yeah, I am with the man who made this place absolutely explode. So first things first, walk us through the goal.
Honestly, man, it was so late in the overtime. Like you're just playing tired, simple hockey, and I felt like their wingers were sinking low all night, and Border made a great pass to me in the slot, and I didn't even see it go in. I just whacked at it, and it's a surreal feeling. It was awesome for sure.
I think you could call this game a roller coaster of emotions. You had a 3-0 lead over the number 1 seed. It gets erased, and you're in that overtime. Tell me what was said in that room before that overtime period.
Honestly, yeah, we're used to playing in a small venue, small barn. There's a lot of nerves going into a game like this, and we've been preparing for a while, and it sucked to see that lead slip, but we got a really tight group, and I think that we showed that in this overtime. Our belief didn't waver in that room in intermission. So.
You got a day off before the semifinal. What's going to be on the agenda besides maybe soaking yourself in a nice bath? That was a physical hockey game.
Dude, I can't even stand right now. I'm cramping bad. So I'm going to the bicycle thief with my parents tonight, and then I think tomorrow it's just going to be a nice R&R, rest and relaxation day for me. So I'm excited.
Enjoy it. Congratulations. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And there you see the hero of the night, Ethan Ritchie. Yeah. Relax, young man. What a game he had.
Well, there's no doubt, as he says, he's cramping up right now. I think there's a lot of guys that were out there at the end, that were starting to cramp up.
Reed Vlad, that beautiful goal right there. He was on it all night long. And, Saskatchewan, they were in the mud for quite some time in this game. They got their mojo going. Roulette got them going. Pardon the pun, Roulette. But, as you said, they had a good season despite what happened here this evening.
Yeah, and both teams had a lot of battle in them, a lot of fight in the dog, as you say. And, that's the way you want to see a season move on and a season end where both teams left it all out in the ice.
So a great day of hockey. Windsor, they have moved on. St. Mary's has moved on. We've got 2 more games tomorrow. So the final, once again, it's St. Mary's in overtime, 4-3. So long from Halifax. We'll see you tomorrow, day 2 of the University Cup, right here on CBC Gem.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.